But this is also a rematch of a previous series, and this one was one of the tightest matches of the earlier rounds. I think it was B, right, who prevailed. Let me just double check that.
No, it was Kiljardi 3-2.
Oh, Kiljardi, yes. Kiljardi 3-2. Very, very tight series, but this is going to be a fundamentally different one to take a look at. Some maps will be shared, however, because we had Archipelago and Kawasan being played in that first set as well as Dry Arabia. But Woodwall and Socotra will be maps that we have not seen in that series.
Now, that's interesting because, one of the ones I was looking at is Woodwall hasn't had much presentation here so far, Winston. I think it's only been played twice in the entire tournament. Why are we seeing so much Hillendale instead? Because I feel like that seems to be the #1 go-to for the closed category.
I'm not quite sure. I think historically Woodwall was played by some of the civs that were best played slower. Like I think China has always been really dominant, and by extension Jushi, and I think English as well. And here we see China and Jushi both banned out on Woodwall, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big deal. I think we've seen Malians as well on Woodwall. I forget all the
We've seen
best civs. It's
Malians,
been a while since.
Abbasids, Ottomans comes out.
Oh,
We had that
Ottomans,
incredible Baltoon game against WAM, I believe it was. It was Abbasids versus Ottomans. I think we've had a good diversity there. Mongols isn't coming out as much there anymore.
No.
But I think that's an interesting one to me, Lido. Is like Mongols, a civ before this tournament, we mentioned Juji. Mongols another one. They're not performing to Juji's level, but people just assume they're being dead, man. All of a sudden, with this type of map pool, Mongols has time and time again been seen in these drafts.
Yeah, and B has Mongols and Malians. So I'm actually a little curious as to where he's going to play both of those, right?
Yeah.
Because neither of those are particularly good on Archipelago. We do see Mongols on Kawasan, which I guess leaves Malians for Socotra, and maybe Ottomans for Woodwall here.
Ooh.
But that leaves, well, he has Japan too for Kawasan. So
yeah, he has.
I don't know, maybe just some extra flexibility here. Yeah, flexi, exactly.
By the way, apparently we have the updated brackets to look at, so we can see how the results are going for people just tuning in. Because I know we're getting deeper in the day. I don't know if people like me and they like to switch between a bunch of different esports scenes, but let's check in on it. Look at that. So we've started to lock in a few people here. You are going to get to see Beastie Dumu. We've got Puppy Paw Lucifron as well. Yeah, I'm thinking that first one though, Lytical. Beastie Dumu. I don't know. Is it me or is this a matchup we don't get to see as much these days?
Yeah, I mean, it's been one of the less spoken about matchups for quite some time. Partly because Dimu, in many cases, isn't able to make it to the very end, and I think I'm just going to check on the stats between these two. Yeah, they actually haven't played an S tier event this year. Last time they've met was the group stage of Elite Classic. So I think this is one of those setups where if Beastie goes deep, Dimu is either on the other side of the bracket and just doesn't go into the finals or so, or the semifinals, or they are in separate groups. It's actually interesting, but I don't think it is really indicative of anything other than just random luck when it comes to drawing the groups. But yeah, this is definitely not a matchup that we very commonly see.
And a thing to think about there when we glance at that, Winston, I think for a lot of people, if they had to choose two right now, Marine Lord, Puppy Paw kind of seem like the front runners. Is there anyone that's kind of surprising? I think Beastie's the obvious one to be in there, but is there a particular player that you're seeing lock in here or expecting to lock in that no one would have had on their bingo cards for making top 4?
A player that I don't think is. I think you listed them, right? I think.
Yeah.
I can't think. I mean, so the winner of this plays against Wham.
I believe
right?
so. And then the winner.
That's an interesting matchup.
That's interesting.
And that's a route to the semis, right? Against the winner of Marine Lord.
No, it's the other side, isn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Winner of this series is going to play against Marine Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That makes more sense because Marine Lord has been scrimming a lot with Anatan because they won't match up until deeper.
Right. Okay, sorry. I got it mixed up on that side. Yeah, no, this is... Yeah, that's tough then. So the next matchup... Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe Anatan, honestly. Then. I feel like he has a route now. He has a path forward, but it's a hard one.
I think the interesting one is, if I'm
Yeah.
remembering correctly, in the I'm trying to remember which tournament it was. There was a tournament recently where I think Anatan, he either beat Wham or he almost took him down. It wasn't one of the S tier tournaments, but this
Mhm.
boy has been improving deeply. But obviously that we're going to save that for a little bit later, because people are curious to see if the Vortex revenge arc is going to occur here. We've got a
Yeah.
potential revenge arc here, right? We've got to
Vortex.
start hunkering in, because we've already seen some HRE biz today. Do we feel it's going to go the same way as that opening game between Louis and Dumu?
Ironically, I would say no, because oftentimes the place where players are chilling out at before their own respective sets is the EGC TV stream. So, funnily enough, I think both of these players may have actually seen that game and either took some inspiration from it or learned from it in a way that they've changed up their game plan. Of course, it's never a given, but I feel like when you have these exact same civilization matchups on exact same maps within the same day, oftentimes you see a deviation in the strategies from players simply because they have seen the downfall of a given strategy and they're just going to say, yeah, I don't want to be that guy who loses this game with the same strategy.
Now, what's interesting to me is, I'm wondering if Kiljardi goes further than what Dumu did in the opening phase of that first game. Because the thing you may notice about Kiljardi, you've watched him a bit as well, Winston. We've all watched him a bit now. This guy goes fast, right? Like, there's kill on the name, it's kill on the game. Do we even see Castle Age out of the HRE this one?
It kind of reminds me of B's like old style. Like this is what B used to be known for. And I think he still kind of is. He still has that legacy and prowess, of course. But I think as B has developed as a player, he's become a lot more well-rounded. And I feel like Kiljardi's kind of in that position that B was a couple of years ago. And I wonder if, we'll see these styles come to a head here and we see a very different style. I don't know though. This kind of tends to be a macro matchup, so Civ matchup, right? So we'll see how that goes. It's kind of an interesting flip of the players versus civs.
It's going. I think it's going to be macro all into a bloodbath here. We're about ready.
Exactly.
Kiljardi versus B. Elimination series to see who is going to get a day up against Marine Lord in those playoffs. We kick off on Dry Arabia.
Let's go.
Spawning in the northern side of the map is going to be B playing as the Byzantines in green, and down south it's Kiljardi with the orange HRE. And once again, this is a rematch of an earlier round here in the group stage. An absolutely spectacular round where Kiljardi was able to win 3-2. We could easily be in for a 5-game series here again, Winston.
Yeah, and I want to say I think Kiljardi can do it. I think he could take B to the end, but part of me still just has a huge amount of respect for how B plays and how he's developed as a player. And he's been so solid for so long. Like I feel scared for Kiljardi because of I talked about it a bit, but like because it is a similar style. Like I feel like of all the players, is B really one that you're gonna win all without against? Is B really someone you're going to beat with all out aggression, right? Or isn't that really just what he's going to be doing? And it might just be fireworks all around, which is super exciting. And once again, we see Byzantines with the second scout in the opening, which is really good against HRE here, right? You get the extra scouts. You can deny the Akin food for longer.
Exactly. It allows you to take away the sheep that the HRE benefit from a lot. So this is going to be some extra commitment here from B. Kiljardi is able to secure a decent amount of sheep, though, but that is by scouting the entire left side of the map. And I think the right side has pretty much been taken by B, so yeah, I think the start is great here for B. He's able to take the majority of the sheep for himself. He's yet to drop them off back at home. But yeah, you can actually see the little green dots scanning across the right side. By the time Kiljardi arrives, B is going to have most of the sheep under his command.
Yeah, and even getting a decent age up behind this. Quite a clean build. Obviously, this has been one that players have been doing for a while, so it's not a huge surprise. But yeah, this is nice. I think B is going to be really happy with the sheep distribution. Oftentimes, it can be a risk if your opponent just gets a bit lucky. They can just get enough sheep, and then your second scout doesn't really pay off. Something that the second scout can do later, right? Lidakor is just spot if there is a TC play from Kiljardi.
Yep. In general, information is a valuable resource in these games. So having that extra scout that you can potentially collect information with, it could be very, very handy. I'm actually curious if this is a crazy idea, but maybe B is going to consider playing Kashik. We've actually seen that in one of the previous sets. And in that case, having an extra scout to acquire targets for those will also be very welcome.
Yeah, we'll see. Similar age up, similar build. Nothing too surprising here, right? All very straightforward. You can see the damage that scout does, though, to the Vil count, too.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Obviously, you also have the HRE here with the extra boost to the villager gather rates, so you know, comparing villager count side by side is not necessarily indicative of things here, but we're just gonna have to see how the eco unfolds going into Feudal Age here. But Aachen Chapel is complete. It's actually a very nice Aachen Chapel spot as well. It touches the gold, touches the wood. It might even be close enough to the berries to have an impact. On the other side, we have let's take a look at this Aachen for a second.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice Aachen spot there for Kiljardi.
Interesting. We saw Demu try this with Biz as well. With the HRE, he went Spear Archer, and the idea behind this generally, right, is to have map control for some defensive units out from Biz, and then follow up to Castle Age pretty quickly, right, so you can grab the relics. We'll see if maybe Kiljardi aims for some different strat here, right, Lidakor? Like, does he go a little more all-in than we saw with Demu?
Interesting question. But you do have the archers coming out here. I think one good target for him would be the gold mine of B. B's gold mine is very much to the front, and this is something that Kiljardi is aware of. So hitting this gold mine could potentially disrupt the B's Castle Age build. And it's not like B's got very many good backup gold sources. His secondary gold is offset to the left, once again in a fairly exposed position. And the tertiary gold is all the way up north, once again wide open. So I feel like if Kiljardi wants to accomplish anything with the aggression, it has to come through the denial of gold.
Yeah, but there's already an outpost up on that gold with arrow slits coming in. You see this a lot with Byzantines because of the stone float that you just get for existing. It just makes any outpost a lot more instantly viable. And you see the arrow slits there now. It's gonna be hard. It is in the behind the vills, so there's potential to poke in and deal a little damage before the garrison comes out, but B's a very fast player, very quick with the reaction, so it's gonna be hard, I think, for Kiljardi just to get like a cheeky kill here and there. We'll see. He's moving around to the back where there is no outpost. Good scouting intel from Kiljardi. And he's gonna reveal this one archer, or is he gonna wait? Is this Envision? Oh wow. Cutting a little close there.
Yeah, berry denial could also work very nicely for B, though he does have a decent amount of backup food, thanks to the double scout commitment. Another reason why it was a good commitment from him is because this way, even by getting pushed off the berries, he's going to have a decent amount of food to work with. He's now basically force collecting all this gold here. He pulled like 10 villagers to do so with. You really feel like he's concerned about the safety of that gold mine, especially because the tower is to the back of the gold. So he's just trying to pick up as much gold as he can so that he does have the gold he needs for Castle Age.
Yeah, and this is definitely this FC style where you can get away with murder, basically. We do see javelins coming in from the berries, the olive oil from the berries, and Biville's still on gold, able to duck in case the archers shoot, but they will not be. And we're going to see a castle very shortly from B. And Kiljardi, we have to kind of watch. He's adding in these man-at-arms, which is an adaptation which I find a bit risky. A man-at-arms costs 100 food, right? So you're really digging into your castle time. That seems a bit scary here. This is some all-in stuff here against Jav defense already out.
Yeah, I am not a big fan of the man-at-arms commitment. It's expensive and you still cannot really dive deep into the enemy base. But at the same time, it's slowing down your own Castle Age here as well. And so far, B is being repelling these attacks very well. He's got a couple of Javelin throwers out now too. He's going to beat Kiljardi to Castle Age by a massive margin, but Kiljardi is relentless here. He's actually getting the ranged upgrade for his archers. So he definitely wants to commit to this. Maybe he's trying to time this such that he strikes when B reaches Castle Age. But if this push doesn't work out, his eco is going to be so feeble.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even a single olive grove on the field, and we do see the transition slowly coming in for Kiljardi. So with another range going down Lidakor, it looks like he's going to be investing it heavily into this feudal age push. So he's going all out aggro here, and he's going to just hope that this works, that he can match the defenses of B and push him off some critical resources. Hope that the sheep run out and he's able to win with map control, but I don't know here. The timing just is not in his favor.
Yeah, this is looking very grim for Kiljardi. He's actually getting siege engineering as well. Again, he's only facing 4 javelin throwers, and actually, these javelin throwers might be caught off guard here. Bit of a surprise here
this
for
is
B.
huge. If he kills these for effectively free, that's massive for this dive coming in, because Siege Engineers is almost done. He has enough wood for, what, like 2 rams basically right away. The Javs, though, are able to survive, and we're going to see their potency here. They're just going to poke him down and push him away. We're going to have to see the ram get built really far away if he is going to build any rams.
Yeah, the benefit of having 2 scouts was that he was actually able to accompany these javelin throwers with the scout. So he actually spotted this flanking army just in time to flee, but things got a little dicey for him, and now he needs to brace for impact, as I do see a Cataphract in the queue. This is definitely something that Killer Pigeon is thinking about right now, and I'm sure that once the time comes, this is one of the things that he will want to talk about.
Yeah, what a wild choice. Generally, you don't see players go for Cataphract in Castle Age. There's several reasons for this, right? The unit is extremely expensive. It's slower than a knight. It doesn't have the default charge of a knight, so it can't even get a big burst of damage down on the opponent. It has to use the trample ability to deal damage, and, you know, in isolation, they're not this super unit that kills everything alone, right? You need quite a few of them to have a lot of value, but we'll see. I mean, maybe the Cataphract will be enough here. Already a very interesting matchup here. The Master of Realms.
Only 8 javelin throwers out there on the field. Kiljardi has 4 spears, but I don't think all of them are in here, and the javelins are looking to snipe them out before the Cataphract arrives. Kiljardi dives very deep. This is a massive dive with the archer flank on the north as well. Ram is taking out the stable, but maybe a little overzealous here from Kiljardi. He's running into the arrow fire from the town center and the tower as well, and the javelins are still standing.
Yeah, but the stable goes down. We don't get that second Cataphract out. It just takes so long to train. And oh my gosh, that is tragic timing for him. Where is the first Cataphract? He's just chilling.
Yeah, I think he's being held back until everybody else has gotten rid of. Villagers are also being pursued on the left side. They fled to the south. B's got 20 idols. And right now, Kiljardi is chasing them relentlessly. Have to make a gate here to flee, but villager count is just dropping too quickly here for B. He's lost 7 villagers in this. Finally, he's going to clean up the archers, but the eco damage has been done.
Yeah, I mean, Javs and the Cataphract going to clean this pretty easily. 9 vills go down, and there's still damage being dealt on the front.
And no gold access for B right now. He's got 300 in the bank, but that's basically it. Has to pull villagers to repair this tower. He's actually going to barely keep that villager alive, but once again, the tower is on fire, and he's just casually bringing in the relic while all of this is happening.
Wild game so far. Kiljardi really sending it full style. YOLO. We ball, and...
it's too late, though.
Outpost is down.
It's 28 villagers remaining here for B. Make it 27 with an additional couple getting killed. He does have 1 relic, sure enough, but he doesn't have access to gold, and his eco has been absolutely shattered here.
Kiljardi has more military than B has eco.
That's very sad. It's very sad. And there's going to be a second wave to this by Kiljardi. I'm actually wondering if he's going to try and make a switch into horsemen to try and deal with the javelins. But in general, javelins are slowly disappearing. He's
just diving the TC with the archers, just killing everything he sees.
He's
There's
looking
no
for
eco. There's no income. There's nothing.
And a Catapract is banged up as well. He tried to intercept reinforcements here, but he ran into a couple of spears. This Catapract is pretty much dead. And now we are seeing camels being added by B. He can still afford some mercenaries, I guess, so he's thinking about camels. But things are still so sad for him.
Is this just the Golden Horn Tower producing what it wants? I think that might be the camels. Because the camels aren't very useful here against full infantry. I don't think that's what you would train if you could control it, but the monk just gets sniped. Oh, the brutality. We need an ambulance over here.
This is looking very, very grim at this point. And, you know, this could be a quick strike here from Kiljardi. Just looking back into their series, B won Arabia when they played for the last time. But this time around, there is a big lead here for Kiljardi, up by 16 eco.
Yeah, and can we take a look at his base? Does he just have a great farm transition behind this? Because if he does, this is super impressive. And that's a lot of ramps, too.
Oh, look at
I mean, that's good. Look, this is working. This is going to be a killing blow. And even if it doesn't, Kiljardi has a backup. Like, he will be able to castle eventually if he needs to behind all of this pressure. But in come the spearmen and the archers, the rams, not too far behind. Maybe the houses, maybe the cistern. What goes down first? It's free pickings. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet for these rams here. As the javelins get forced back, the villagers once again on the run. The archers chasing them down. And what does B have left?
Nothing. You have so many archers for Kiljardi that he's willing to dive a hard counter unit. The javelin throwers in there. Camels pop out. Villagers being pulled to take out the rams. B needs to try and hold this, but as you kind of highlighted, Kiljardi has a second layer to this. This is not an all-in anymore from him. He can escalate this game further if he needs to. B has only 5 javelin throwers remaining. And once again, Rams start knocking on his walls.
Another cataphract is produced here, but I just don't know what it's going to do.
Bottom left of your screen, villagers fighting off spearmen casually in a stealth forest.
We'll never know if we don't leave any evidence. No survivors. This guy's just like, you'll never believe what I saw, man. These vills, they just pulled out their knives, so they just came for us. Oh man, this game. How does Kiljardi is keeping up the pressure on this and not angling for the Castle Age, which we predicted might be an option, but he's more than double the population. He's 40 military to 8.
He's housed at 40.
My gosh. Every vill, you just see vills running in every direction because nowhere is safe. The cataphract getting run down by archers. The trample just completely whiffs. You have to ground target that on top of the units. But Kiljardi just sidestepped B's attack there. The vills once again on the run. Oh my gosh.
B had for a minute less than 100 resources per minute combined across all resources. And now he taps out. Kiljardi, one of the most aggressive players in AOE IV, comes in with the aggression against B, and he's going to take game number 1.
Holy Litakor, we talked about fireworks for this matchup, and I may have underestimated just the show we were going to get. Just how awesome that was. That was cool.
To be fair, I wouldn't have been surprised to see fireworks, but these were tactical nukes by Kiljardi. He just came in, and the man-at-arms switch was a little on the weirder side, but I think regardless of the composition he chose, he did a really good job harassing B from multiple directions. He hit the gold mine, but he also had a couple of archers pushing the berries as well. He was able to shut down B's eco so well.
Yeah, it really just shows what you can do against an FC. We questioned the man-at-arms, but we were wrong, right? Like, those man-at-arms gave him enough potency in the dive where he was able to just pressure. He ran to the berries on the left, which they were walled on the left side, but Kiljardi didn't care. He just ran there. Oh man, this was a very impressive game. I really liked that.
Well, we just have 2.5 minutes left to go until game number 2 here, and game number 2 will take us to a map that they have played in the previous series that in which they faced off against each other. It's going to be Kawasan here, just quickly bringing up the records. That was a game that Kiljardi was able to take away from B. It was an English versus Japanese matchup. This time around, it's going to be the Mongols versus the Abbasids.
Yeah, and for B, this kind of locks in the rest of his draft, right? If he's picking Mongols here, that means Socotra, Malians, Ottomans on Woodwall, probably. I mean, and then the Order of the Dragon on Archipelago, or maybe can Japan play Socotra? Really, no. That doesn't feel as good as Malians, right?
I feel like it's about a waste of a castle age potential for
Yeah.
Japanese.
You also don't get the benefit of the fishing boats there, right? So it's yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we might not see Japan unless he picks Japan on Archipelago.
That would
But
be
we'll
fun,
see if he
though.
gets there. We'll see if he gets there because this is scary, right, Litikor?
It is. Kiljardi was very convincing in this game, and Socotra is a map that could easily play into his strengths. That's our chaos map for this series, and we've seen how aggressive Kiljardi can be. He also has English available. Just a side note, he played English the last time they faced off against each other on Kawasan. He's saving it for, I guess, Socotra, maybe Woodwall. Remains to be seen. But so far, very quick start here for Kiljardi, and B, he's fighting for his tournament life, and game number 1 was much, much better for Kiljardi.
Yeah, that was a really dominant show. Although I think what happened there was Kiljardi did something unexpected, and we've talked about this a bit today, right? We just seeing players sometimes trying to bring something out that's a bit unexpected, mess with the timings, and then just do something very effective with that timing. And Kiljardi was able to do it here. B clearly did not anticipate the speed at which that would come. He was not expecting the man-at-arms switch. When he scouted with his scout, there was immediate panic. He built a stable thinking maybe the knights would work, but the cataphracts just not able to quite cut it. Wasn't able to get enough of them out. And with 10 seconds to go until Kawasan, what is your prediction, Litikor? Who's going to come out on top here?
I'm curious how Abbasids will play aggression. I think we will learn a lot about the potential outcome of this game once we get to like minute 7 or 8, because that's usually the time where Kiljardi comes online. And this, Winston, is a very unique spawn for Kawasan. The players are not close to that central area. They've actually spawned much closer to a single shared pond on the right side, and indeed both the players will start docking that one pond.
This is a crazy map. There's even still an 8K there. Like, B is playing with like a personal 8K on his corner of the map. Now, a lot of the way that Mongols are going to play this, right, is probably interesting. Going for the dock and then I guess follow up with the barracks, Uvu. We'll see. We'll see how he plays it. This is spicy.
Yeah, this is a very unique map spawn over here. It's not something that you commonly see, and this just completely reshapes the way that this game is played, because with this spawn, it's guaranteed that the players will be sharing ponds. There is not much of an alternative choice for a pond. And at the same time, there is a much more amplified significance to that corridor to the north.
Yeah, which, again, I love that AK, right? I know we both just mentioned it, but, like, that is, like, his second gold mine, right? Like, that is crazy positioning on this map. But yeah, we'll see. A lot of the times, the way that Mongols like to play on these maps is they kind of have a choice. Are they going to just age up, or do they make a couple spearmen first? And historically, they've always made spearmen, right? But I've been wondering if there's just more validity to just a standard age up here, and you just save your stone. Because he still hasn't built the Uvu, which you won't do for quite some time. And I just feel like the spearmen just slow you down. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's tough to say at this point right now. So, for now, it's a very, very peaceful Dark Age. Not something that you very commonly see from either of these two players, to be honest.
Well, there was a Khan shooting a Vil for a while, right? Maybe we all thought it was peaceful, but that villager got shot like 20 times. I'm not sure they would call it peaceful, eh? That's a really cozy spot as well for B with the gold right next to the wood. Like, that's a great TC spawn for B. We'll see. Probably military wing from Abbasids here, as is tradition at this stage of the Abbasid life cycle. We've just seen a lot of mill wing, and it's likely going to be that. It kind of counters out if B does go for any spears, which it doesn't look like he's going to be doing in Dark Age, as he still hasn't built an Uvu. He's not chopping any wood as well. So sitting at 135 wood, interestingly. Maybe a bit
He's
of an
trying to rush
overdraft.
feudal.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. You see, he's just now clicking up. He's building the deer stones right now, and let's not forget he's facing Abbasids. So this is a race to the feudal age, and I think the reason why he skipped the Ovu is simply because he wants to be in feudal as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that the pawns are shared, that actually could be the difference maker.
Yeah, especially because those spearmen are just going to get countered by the Millwing, right? So makes a lot of sense here what he's done, and I really like it. We'll see how this pans out though, because if B never builds an Uvu, I feel like you're sacrificing a lot. So at some point he needs to squeak it into the build order, and a lot of players tend to think that earlier is better. But for now, he's still not building it. And if he's going to be using his timing, it means his first wood shipment is going into. Oh
I mean, maybe he's thinking that this game is gonna be 10 minutes long tops, so he doesn't really need that stone.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If you never make land units, yeah, it does give up the chance for like cheaper, not cheaper, but arrow slits at all. Like you can't just mine stone quickly to get arrow slits on the dock. So he's gonna have to like play without it for now.
He's
Yeah,
gonna be
arrow
quicker to
slits
feudal age, so
units,
he's gonna
right?
get the first galley out, and he's not even opening a junk. He's actually opening a war junk on this dock. I assume he's going to get a junk out to harass the fishing boats at least. Though you can garrison all of your ships here, so maybe he's just going to skip it altogether and just go full war junks.
Well, on small ponds you have to get 2 airship, at least 1 airship, because you're camping the dock, so it's unlikely that 2 demos will spawn at the same time. In which case, 1 galley is fine, but 1 junk. But you really need 2 junks to protect any war junks. Otherwise, you're just dead to demos. Which Kiljardi can afford 2 demos right off the bat here and just kill this, right? But maybe not before losing a fishing boat if he's not careful.
Yeah, he needs to open. He's actually opening demo and buglaw here. But
Yeah,
by the
that's
time
smart.
that demo arrives, there is going to be a Thou or a junk out here for B. And he's still without an Ovu, by the way. Looks like he's just all in the spawn at this point, and he's already forcing some idle time on the enemy fleet. Demo coming in. Thou pushes it away though, and this is a full HP war junk, so it wouldn't get insta-killed by the demo anyways. And look at that micro from Kiljardi trying to just dodge and dive. But ultimately, that demo is going to go down. Bugla looking to snipe that Thou, but the Thou is going to pull back. There's a demo coming in now from Kiljardi, or B, I should say. And that is a beautiful demo. Sinks the Bugla, sinks a fishing boat as well. This is looking like B domination in here.
Yeah, and we were talking about it. I was saying, like, if he trains 2 demos, it's good. But 1 and the Bogla, the timing doesn't quite work. The demo spawns and there's no bagel to defend you. It's like you're spreading the cream cheese on the countertop. The bagel isn't toasted yet, right? And the timing just didn't work there. But now,
beautiful
not
demo,
paying attention. The repairs are in though. He's able to keep it alive with the 3
coming
fishing
just
boats.
in time.
Oh, this is huge.
On the spot with the micro. On the spot with the micro here. That war junk staying alive after a direct demo hit. This must be so demoralizing for Kiljardi here. And, you know, both players are kind of running out of juice as we just see these units completely chilling. Actually, a battering ram is being made to try and take out the docks.
Yeah, we've seen this work a lot of times for Abbasids, and with absolutely no military on the field, maybe this works against B, but junk can just kind of defend, right? The light junk here from Mongols, like...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. The scout from Kiljardi has been torching one of those docks for quite some time, so one of the docks are damaged. We have 2 more Buglaws coming in here, but B already has a demo set up here.
This is
when those Buglaws pop out, this is gonna be nasty.
Yeah, the timing has to come with the ram, but the demo is just waiting in the wings. Like, I don't know.
And Kiljardi canceled the Buglaws. He saw the demo and said, listen, I know I will get destroyed the moment I dive in. He's now looking to just destroy the docks. B is still without an Ovu, by the way.
Yeah, really interesting development, right? Like, Mongols not investing in any land whatsoever, and the stone accrues really slowly, so usually you expect it over time, but I guess just all ending the ponds here. It's a water game after all. This is what you have to play for.
Doc is on fire now for Kiljardi. His ram is still intact though. He's actually queuing up a single Dow right now, looking to snipe that demo. It's kind of isolated. But look at the quick reaction from B. He sees the Dow and he's going to try to jump it with the war junks. Dow does not manage to snipe out the demo until this point. In the end, Dow gets traded to a demo. Who does that favor, Winston?
Well, I mean, B still just has full control of the pond, right? And there's really no chance for Kiljardi to take it back. I mean, being able to build that dock actually is kind of meaningful, but I don't know. Like, B hasn't been investing in more ships. He has enough to win. If any ship pops out from Kiljardi, he's fine, right? So he doesn't need to invest in more. He's now building some archers. Still no Uvu from B, so just YOLO style. I kind of like that. It's really an interesting choice. I mean, Uvu does cost 150 wood, so in the short term, it would just slow down your archer play. Although, with no dock, no fishing can drop off.
Yeah, this is going to be a status quo where neither of the players have a dock. But we do have new docks being built by Kiljardi. He went on to the far pond, so far unscouted by B. B's Khan is actually harassing that wood line, so he's yet to scout this move. Kiljardi could easily sneak in a couple of fishing boats here unnoticed.
Yeah, that would be huge for him. These rams really got decent value in the end, killing 2 docks, but I mean, it is 200. It's a lot of wood for a ram, right? It does deny the food.
Yeah, also a lot of wood for docks, and if you take out all the docks, you also prevent your opponent from fishing no matter what. In the end, this ram should go down with at least 1 dock staying alive. B does have an equal lead of 4, and he does have a decent resource bank as well. He might actually go to Castle Age without an Ovu.
That's going to be the case, yeah. I mean, maybe just never build one, you know? It could happen. It'd be the first time I've ever seen that, I think. Mongols winning a game without ever building an Uvu. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I think I've seen losing a game without an Uvu, but not in a tournament.
Yeah. Lovely 2 villagers being left here for some shore fishing as well. Gives you a nice extra source of food. B is going for a fishing upgrade already. I think the key thing here, Winston, is that B is yet to scout this dock, but he's looking for it now. He sees that Kiljardi essentially bailed on the right side pond, so he needs to be doing something else. Expect B to find these docks from Kiljardi very soon.
Yeah, if he sees it, but he went there, but then he turned around. Is that a green scout? I can't quite tell. It looked like it. Yeah, that's orange, right? So still no info on these docks on the left for B, and that might end up costing him the game because he's thinking he's won the water.
Yeah, this is weird. It takes little effort to check the shoreline, and if he finds those, Kiljardi is in a very, very tough spot. But with all the investment on land here, a lot of spears and archers for Kiljardi to defend, and Kiljardi is not falling behind in eco because he does have that fishing. And let's not forget, B is paying full price for these units because he doesn't have an Ovu. He is not double training these.
Yeah, and that's a big investment in feudal military from Kiljardi as well, just to deal with the threat of these Keshiks. Really good response to have the 10 spearmen out, and now this feudal investment from B is a bit weird, right? Like, he's got this military, and he's not really going to be able to get anything done with it unless Kiljardi really messes up, so boot camp also finishing. Oh my. Kiljardi's army is just better right now, right?
And as long as his fishing eco is untouched on the left side, he's going to be happy playing this. He's actually walling off the right side right now. Nice little touch for him. He's down by 6 eco, mostly because B took out the fishing boats on that initial pond. And now there is a Dow patrolling the shoreline as well. It's actually interesting mind games. That Dow could easily reveal that he's there. But he's doing this because I think he already assumes that B knows about this, and he's just looking to deny B's docks.
I mean, surely B should expect it at this point.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm
100%.
not sure. I mean, maybe the intuition just isn't kicking in here that it's an issue. But I don't know. I mean, at this point, what could he do about it? I mean, send the Keshiks maybe to burn the docks, right?
Yeah,
guess that's what you'd do.
Maybe try to dock the pond himself.
That works too. maybe. Fight another Pond War, though. That would slow everything down. And interestingly, still no Uvu.
He's got a lot of food in the bank here. He is diving, and this is a dangerous spot for Kiljardi. He was looking to age up, piling up all the resources, and he doesn't have his army back at home. Nice finds by B. He picks off 2 villagers, but now Spearmen and Archers come back. And Winston, it looks like B isn't able to crack this defense right now. He's trying to pick off the Spearmen. Spearmen are chasing, but these guys are buffed up with the boot camp as well. Kiljardi might be overextending here a little. I think he wants to go to Castle, but he might be afraid that he needs these berries. He's just trying to fight for it. I don't know if he should be fighting here, though, if he really wants to go to Castle.
I think he could win a fight if it broke out in the right manner, right? If he keeps trading archer to archer and keeps his spears alive, I feel like the fight almost... No, this isn't it, though. This isn't it. A lot more Keshiks come in.
Keshiks dive in. All of the Keshik are pulled back without casualties. Spearmen slowly being picked off of the back line. Keshik also getting that regen from the combat. A lot of the Keshiks are banked up, though, and you still have a couple of spears here. I feel like Kiljardi just wanted to tank the initial blow with the archers just to keep these Spearmen as healthy as possible and then jump the Keshik. I don't know if that worked well for him, though. Because now, B is doubling down on this aggression in a very vulnerable moment for Kiljardi. He's trying to get up to Castle Age. His left side is wide open. His north is wide open. And oh boy, that is the gold mine that he was using. This could be terrible.
Yeah, this could be fireworks in just a moment here. Kiljardi back against the wall. He can't let this position go down. If it does, it's the game. The villagers are exposed. He has to run.
Oh my lord, B is going to dive. Couple of villagers getting caught in the crossfire. Tower is not going up, and Kiljardi is losing way too many workers here. Spearman gone. This gold mine is going to be denied. Now, Kiljardi does have a decent gold bank, so he's not going to be completely out. But this is just looking so grim for him, and this is such a good move by B on a map like Kawasan. You have 1 primary gold, and your secondary gold, no matter what, is always going to be very far away.
Yeah, these forward buildings, a really interesting choice, taking this forward pressure. It's almost like he's wants to build an Uvu there.
Yeah,
really
exactly. That's what I was thinking as well.
Like,
it's one thing that this is a forward base, but he actually has an Uvu spot right there as well, but he just decided not to use it. Castle Age kicking in just 15 seconds for Kiljardi, though. But his army is not marvelous, and I feel like B is going to dive any moment now. Kiljardi is already down by 9 eco, but the army count is the more worrisome for him. It's 61 to 18. Some of that, of course, is combat ships, but still, 20 Keshik, 26 archers versus only 12 archers on the other side. But Lancers are coming.
Yeah, the gold is going to get denied again. A couple more vills are going to go down, and the early Gulams and Knights aren't going to do very well here. This is a large group of Keshiks, and I feel like B is eyeing up a dive here. I think this is it.
He should. He's
he should.
For a dive
There's only
right
a couple
now
spearmen.
before
Only
any
4
Castle
spearmen.
units come in.
These 4 spearmen is nowhere near enough, and crossbows are going to be too slow to produce. And they're going to be produced in a bad spot, too. Here's the dive.
Oh my lord, Keshik just butchering all those troops. First Lancer pops out, but it's very little over here for Kiljardi. He was pinned inside his base for quite some time. He doesn't have the Castle Age army to deal with this, and we should see an equalizer here very soon. Another sub-20 game here, potentially. B was very convincing, winning the battle on the water, and he's even pulling his Deer Stones to the front here to buff up his army. He wants to finish this game quickly, and I think he is about to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Kiljardi, though, not resigning here. He thinks he still has it. He's hanging on to some form of hope. Not sure where that's coming from, but he's believing. And he's running, evacuating the villas to the north, but the Keshik hot on the heels. Even though the wolf, the puppy's getting in on the mix. Hey, you want to play a game?
He built an Uvu, by the way.
Oh, he did?
Oh no, villagers
nice.
are all going down. I think Kiljardi was hoping that the fishing will save him. But, I mean, that's just a distant dream at this point. He's got 8 army to work with. He's got 4 more Lancers in queue, but again, he's facing 24 Keshik. His eco has been shut down. look at all this chaos, and B is about to get to Castle Age himself. And when he does, Kiljardi stands no chance. I feel like this was an exceptional game from B right from the get-go, and gotta say, looking back, I love how he skipped the Ovu in Dark Age. Allowed him to get up to Feudal very fast, and, you know, the water micro from him was just spectacular. He totally annihilated the field lead of Kiljardi on that pond.
Holy crap, these reinforcements, the Keshik numbers just double overnight, and they were just sitting there waiting. And here comes B once again, ready to repeat. He liked his odds last time, gonna do it again, not caring about the pond. In comes the dive, then it's just not gonna be enough here.
Yeah,
the crossbow is also
very little. And indeed, Kiljardi does step out, and again, just going back to what you said at the beginning of the first game, fireworks, we're seeing fireworks on both sides. A quick strike from Kiljardi, and then B makes it an even series after 2 games.
I wish B did not build the Uvu in the end, so that we could just say that he won without building an Uvu, right? Do you think we can say that and it still counts?
I mean, to be fair, he pretty much won this game well before the Ovu was built.
He probably didn't even spend any stone, right? So it's like he didn't benefit from the Uvu. It's just cool, you know? It's like, imagine an English player winning without building a farm.
But yeah, this was a
Rare.
tough
It's
game
rare.
for Kiljardi.
Oh man.
Well,
Yeah,
I imagine from the other side of things, for the YouTube side, that's annoying because now we don't get to have the no Uvu Mongol build clickbait title. But what a series this has turned up to be, boys. I mean, first thing I wrote down, first thing I thought right away is prediction for this series now, Winston. Whoever goes castle first, every game dies.
Yeah, that might be how this goes, huh?
The
Looking like
relentless
it.
aggression, right? Like this is kind of what we were talking about getting into this. I mean, Kiljardi, he's known for seeking blood. Like I've labeled this guy on the level of Vortex when it comes to aggression. B, you mentioned this whole idea of him getting back to that style, and do you think maybe that's been the problem here? Is that B is in recent tournaments been trying to adapt to a style that doesn't fit what we knew him for originally?
Was that me? Sorry, I was reading something.
This is,
huh?
Litter, this is literally what... No, you're okay. Lytical, this is what I have to do with every time. Every cast of Invasion.
Yeah, for a moment I was confused because, like, wait, is he talking to me? Am I supposed to answer? And then Winston was like, okay, so it wasn't me, it's him.
I was reading Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw was typing in chat and I read it. Sorry.
You see what I mean? Is what NA fanboy just can't help himself. But no, I think that the kind of interesting thing here though is it seems to be that this series is going to be all out aggression, and whoever has that will take the edge. You know, it's interesting though because one thing I noticed, I don't know if Kiljardi was maybe feeling cocky or had the misread on the situation, Lidical, but usually it bastards on Kawasan. The opening play isn't to send more boats; it's to build that ram. I want to say like 2 minutes sooner than we saw in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
oh my
kidding.
god, dude! No, you've been around him too long. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not even necessarily the difference in the build orders, but the execution on the water. Like B was so dominant. Every single little micro battle that they fought, it went in B's favor. He was able to snipe out the enemy bug laws. He was able to keep his war junk alive. That crucial initial demo hit from Kiljardi completely negated by the fishing boat heal. Those kinds of things gave so much momentum for B on that pond, and sure enough, you do have your rams knocking down the docks, but when the opponent has 7 docks and a bunch of warships, eventually you start losing out on the rams. If anything, the surprising thing for me in the previous game was that Kiljardi was never scouted on the other pond. This game could have been a lot worse for him if B actually finds his fishing boats on the other pond.
Now, looking forward, we've got some interesting potential coming up. There's still a big question mark about B's draft for a lot of people, especially around Archipelago. But before we even get to that, we have another question mark coming in because B, we've got him on the Malians. Other side of Winston, looks like we're going towards this Iber pick. We have been seeing a little bit of that on this map, but So far, I feel like Malians, English, Mongols seem to be kings here.
Yeah, the
So I'm
AU bids
looking
are
at.
going to be. Yeah, the AU bids are going to be interesting. We'll see if that like pans out in this game. Malians have been playing really smart because it's just these tight bases give you easy access to pit mines. You're not afraid of like building a dock. There's a lot of like options for Malians here. I'm curious to see how Eubids are going to play. I think, you can still pretty easily get, tier 1 Golden Age and get everything rolling. So we'll just have to see how it goes because we're diving in.
Indeed, into game number 3 we go. Kiljardi versus B here on Socotra. It's one apiece right now with Kiljardi in command of the Ayobids with the color orange. And on the other side, it's B with the Malians in green.
And let's see it. This map is always really interesting for Malians because they want to build they get really easy placement for the pit mines, but it's not always the best. Like here, I think it's going to be another case where you can't really fit another house around it, so you're not even getting optimal income. But I think the main deal, though, is that the second gold mine is always so safe, and the first gold mine always being guaranteed in the back, just like makes it feel really cozy. Against Beastie, we saw Kiljardi build the Saharan trade network here just to protect it from early aggression. I wonder if B's gonna feel inspired by that. It didn't end up looking that strong.
My lord, look at all those sheep,
Yeah.
though. And B is clubbing. What happened to Kiljardi here? He actually sent in the scout the other way, so he lost to sheep, I guess.
Yeah, but it's still stolen sheep, right? And that might
True.
become annoying for Kiljardi if that space becomes relevant. If those tiles end up being blocked off by those sheep, that could become a problem later. And Malians have space issues on this map, we have seen.
Yeah, maybe that was the plan. Maybe he saw B clubbing the sheep and he said, okay, I'm going to make you club the sheep at a very uncomfortable spot for you. But
Yeah.
decent sheep haul here as well for B, both of them just stealing each other's sheep. But Winston, I wanted to ask you before we go deeper into this game, what's the over and under on the length of this game here after we've seen 2 very quick games?
I will put $4 that this game is under 17 minutes.
$4 under 17 minutes. Okay, I can live with that.
So, okay. All right. So you think it'll be more than 17 minutes? Or are you agreeing with me? You can agree with me here.
I'm saying sub 20, but above 17, as we are aging up for both of these players.
Pricing right, Liticor.
Yep. The production quality, and I love how Vodka was flexing it. Like, Vodka is just pointing to that area as like, yeah, you see, this is not normally part of the UI, but we put it up there for you, so you know what the IO bids are actually doing.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And that's going to be the villagers, right? That's an interesting choice from AU bids. I guess they don't really need the speed here. Not feeling the need for the Desert Raiders, right? So yeah, this is spicy. It makes sense, just a simple macro play against the macro from Malians. I mean, who knows? Maybe we're here for a while. Maybe this is a long game.
I mean, it can't really be super long. At the end of the day, this is a kind of tiny map. Just for a second, we didn't really have time to discuss that between the games. This is a map for which Kiljardi had the English available, and I thought he was going to use that. But I guess in hindsight, especially seeing that he's facing off against the Malians, IOBits might work very well here. And at the same time, English probably would have had issues facing off against the Malians.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on how the game goes. But yeah, I feel like in this case, Kiljardi's game plan is just get a couple vills out from near landmark and then just play super standard and go aggressive in mid-feudal, right? Like, just go for a build-up and just fight Malians head-to-head. I think the fear has to be that Malians just macro better behind this, because, yes, Eubids are going to get these 3 free vills, and they're going to open stable here. Interesting choice from Kiljardi on a very closed map. But like basically, like my question for Kiljardi essentially is, what's the follow up? Like, what's the game plan? Like, I doubt it's an FC here, right? Into Camel
To be
Lancers.
fair, based on what we've seen from Kiljardi, I'm not exactly sure if he actually has a follow-up or a game plan post 15 minutes. It's like aggression, and we either win or lose.
Yeah, but I guess the question is, what form is this aggression coming in? I guess just horseman play. Horseman Archer is going to be it. No FC
That's gonna be
here.
expensive.
Yeah. You do have the 3 extra vills, and you're not pressured on your berries. So I think he'll be able to afford it. It's just a matter of, like, aren't Malians just going to scale? Like, sure, you have a couple vills, but I feel like Malians are just outscaling pretty quickly here if you're not
He's
putting on
going
pressure
for
now.
cattle. And this is one of those moments where the tight spaces available on this map could be problematic when you want to go for multiple cattle ranches.
Yeah, we talked about this at the start, right? Even those 2 sheep dead to the right of the TC might end up blocking a ranch position. But we'll see if that becomes an issue. B just comfortable to macro up, and he's going to go double range defense. So maybe just all in archers here, or even some javelins to defend against the early archers. Javelins are also nice defending because they just deal a good chunk of damage against the horsemen. The boar has been aggroed, though.
Oh, nice little move by
Rampage.
B. And it does a lot of damage to these archers, but the scout is also very low. Horseman chasing it away. Scout might get picked off. So B pays a huge price for pulling that boar. And I feel like, Winston, the primary direction from which the aggression should come for Kiljardi is this side. This is all the wood that B has access to.
Triple range. Just javelins, though. So that's kind of making sense now, right? You go triple range, you spend a lot of wood, sure, but you're now only spending gold and food, which you have essentially infinite amount of in this area. If this is going to be a 17-minute game, that is.
Yeah, but at the same time, Kiljardi is looking to age up here.
That was an interesting fake out, right? Just 2 horsemen.
Yeah. And honestly, I love
one
this.
horseman.
If you think about it, so many players associate Kiljardi with this absolute madness, full aggression gameplay. And when you see so much aggression in your face early on, you think, oh yeah, he's gonna do this again. But guess what? Now he's changing things up, and this might catch B off guard.
Yeah, Camel Lancers are going to be the choice here. So we're about to see the advancement wing. So he's going to be aging up really cheap. And I think Camel Lancers from the stable make a lot of sense against the javelins.
Yeah, it's a great unit. It's tanky. It has decent base output, base damage output. I'm not the biggest fan of it on a map like Socotra. I think there is more value in large open maps where you don't have any other units in the game that can match the mobility, the combat potential of the unit, and it's also a counter to it. Camel Lancers will just counter every cavalry that you can chase them down with. So on a somewhat tighter map like this, I'm not the biggest fan of it. But then again, if you dive in with 2 or 3 of those, pick off a couple of villagers, that might already be enough for Kiljardi.
Yeah, and usually when you defend with Amalians, you're expecting a lot of aggression. You want to go Donso Jav, but B was thinking that this map is so like tight and compact that he can get away with skipping on the Donso. And that might come to hurt him soon, because in just like a minute, by 9 minutes and 30 seconds, there will be a Camel Lancer like knocking on the door, essentially, right? And you need a spearman or 2. The javelins just aren't going to cut it if there's 2 or 3 of these things. Oh boy.
You know what else? Manganiques. Or in general, Siege. That's something that the Ayobids will be more than happy to play around with. And B's army is very much one-dimensional. A single Manganique could cause so much headache for him.
Purple stable. Was that a 3rd stable in the north there? I think that was. Or maybe a blacksmith. I'm not sure. Either way, Camel Lancer's on the way. Vet Archer. Oh boy. Oh boy, Liticor. This is about to get super spicy.
Yeah, it's triple rangers, and you have 16 javelin throwers. But I love how Kiljardi banked up a lot of resources going into Castle Age. It's not like he reaches Castle and he can barely afford the Camel Lancers. He's got 3 in queue, and he's got food for a lot more. Now, he needs to be cautious because B is looking to punish this. He's got decent blacksmith upgrades as well. Kiljardi is actually grabbing the Archer upgrade as well, though, so this is not exclusively Camel Lancers.
Yeah, he's just shadowing these units, so it's unlikely that these jabs are going to get too much damage, but he is working his way around the north side of this base where there are some vills on the berries still. No, they've all just been migrated. There's nothing to be done here except die to the camel lancers whenever Kiljardi is ready. And that is a terrifying thought because here comes Kill... Okay, no, false alarm. We're backing up.
Yeah, he's waiting for it. He's getting range defense just now. 3 more camel lancers will pop out, and to be fair, at some point, Kiljardi might just say, okay, if you're not attacking me, I'm just going to jump your base. Here come the camel lancers. Nice little jump. A single sofa moves in here from B. The camel lancers are doing a quick work with all these javelin throwers. Sofa doing a decent job shielding them, but look at all the armor that these camel lancers have. Javelin throwers are really struggling to penetrate that armor.
Now one does go down, but so did the sofa, and now the javelins basically on the run. The scout baiting some damage in, and this is good micro from B. He still has 15 jabs alive, and it looks like he might just be able to chunk through. He aggroes the boar really smartly.
I feel like
really
Kiljardi should have waited a little more. He dove in with 3 or so camels. I was thinking that he can go with 6 or so. And indeed, now he's going to lose this camel lancer as well. So his momentum stalled out a little. Range defense, tier 2 just now coming in for him, but now B knows what's up. And I think he slowed this game down enough for him to be able to get to Castle Age.
Yeah, and that's going to make B feel a lot more comfortable, because if that fight had gone a lot worse, this game would just be over, and looks like that's not going to be the case. Kiljardi not able to do it right away, and now we see the transition to some spearmen, and Muso Fadi, not even Donster, Muso Fadi for the damage against the heavy units, maybe going to be able to get some surprise attacks. Maybe we see some flanks and raids. Is that an exposed berry patch?
Oh, that's nasty. Berry patch totally undefended. Javelins are moving in. Kiljardi doesn't see this because he doesn't have a scout nearby. Stealth Forest even conceals those troops. Kiljardi is going to have to bail out. But at the same time, he started sending units towards the enemy base. Decides to come away. He could have went for the lumberjacks or any villagers really of bees. Decides to pull back for defense. Oh my lord, the dervish pops out and gets picked off instantly. He wanted to go for the relics, gets punished for it.
But now the army from B is out of position. Will he be able to hold this? Some
6 lancers. I think Kiljardi can now jump this, especially with 2 more lancers in queue. And there is no front line to this. In the previous engagement, there was a single sofa tanking the damage, and you can actually see B sacrificing the scout to save the javelins. He's sacrificing the sofa as well, but this time around, this retreat is much slower, and these lancers will just pursue. B is still in feudal age, continues to add javelin throwers here as well as Musafadi warriors, but the camel lancer count is increasing now.
The Musafadi are hiding. Where are they? They're not showing in the fight. Okay, now they're coming forward, looks like. Gonna get some surprise damage in. Now you have a front line for these javelins to deal their damage, with the archers in the back looking for the snipes. The camel lancers diving under the town center. B idled up everywhere, but does he have enough to hold?
I don't like this fight for Kiljardi, but he's getting a couple of villager picks here and there. He's cleaning up a lot of these javelin throwers, but fighting under this DC into the Musafadi warriors might not be the best of all ideas. He's got some camel lancer reinforcements coming in though, and so many villagers are caught in the crossfire. B is losing way too many vills. He's got 22 idols right now. Javelin throwers are still alive, but his eco is just a train wreck right now. But he does buffer this up. He repels this first wave. New camel lancers are still diving in though. And I think many of those javelin throwers are very heavily banked up as well.
Yeah, they're hurt, and the camel lancers do trade their lives, but I think the economic damage here was insane. Finally, Kiljardi gets some villager picks and a ton of idle time on the side of B. Behind this, though, relics coming in, so you have some dervishes on the fields, even for some healing on some of these banged up camel lancers, and even though some vills went down on the berries, Kiljardi comes out with a significant eco lead in terms of villagers. Now, of course, there's the pit mines to consider and the cows, but it's not like B has invested super heavily into these things.
Yeah, I was about to say that. On a normal Dry Arabia game, you could say, oh yeah, 2 pit mines, a bunch of cattle, easily compensates for the eco deficit. Look at that. Kiljardi is actually taking out the boar. because it was so annoying. B always aggroed it. But yeah, you look at this map, there's a single pit mine for B, and then he's got maybe 1 or 2 cattle ranches at maximum. So those villager casualties do sting. Yes, single cattle ranch only for him.
Yeah, he's using his gold on cattle to eat for food, which is why he's going for this Musafati. He just doesn't trust being on the wood line, which Kiljardi would be diving anyways. The villagers are once again idled on the run down to the south. There is a gate there, I believe. Oh, there's no gate. No way out. And GG.
Indeed, no way out. I think we need to look at the length of this game for our bet, though, Winston, because I think we're very, very close. But Camel Lancers, the switch up from the aggression into the fast castle yields a sub-17-minute game. So there is your $4 wager win. Really, I love to see how Kiljardi played this in a sense that he decided to play aggressive, and B took the bait. He went triple ranges, only to see Kiljardi getting up the Castle Age. And even after that disastrous initial battle for Kiljardi, the Camel Lancers won him the game.
Yeah, that was an incredible opening from Kiljardi. I really, really liked how he played that. I think that was super smart, super calculated, very clearly intended to throw off B, and it worked marvelously, right? He built the stable and the range. He built 1 horseman, 6 archers, and then went FC behind it. And he did that with the villagers instead of with the military units. So like maybe that lulled B into, oh, this is a macro game. And then it wasn't a macro game because there were suddenly units out. And then, oh, I'm going to build 3 ranges, which was, I think, a bit of an odd choice. I think maybe 2 ranges would have been enough potentially. And then maybe you need a barracks with it or a stable earlier. But you know, that's really nitpicky. I think what B did was his best at dealing with it without having any opportunity to macro to an extra pit mine or more cows.
Well, we have 2.5 minutes left to go, and Kiljardi is at a match point as we will be heading into Archipelago. Another map that these two have played against each other in the previous matchup. And yeah, just looking at the score line there real quick.
What?
Archipelago was a B win back then, Chinese versus the Order of the Dragon. This time around, OOTD belongs to B, and Kiljardi, he's actually taking the Jeanne d'Arc over here, so maybe taking a page out of the Canadians' book with the French, or more precisely, its variant.
What do you do with Jeanne d'Arc here? Do you just leave her as a vill? Do you transport her over and be annoying? Dark Age? It's a 200 HP vill that can become an archer, right?
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Imagine transporting an archer, Jean. That is sick. In itself, the reaction that you force out of your opponent with that is an absolute pain.
Yeah. The reason why people tend not to pick Jeanne d'Arc on pure water maps is because it's very hard to get Jeanne near to boats when they die. So if there's no land combat, her XP is based on the baseline. So you just have to get her to tier 2, and then I guess you have Consecrate, which you could cast globally on your docks. So you could transport Jeanne and then globally cast Consecrate on your docks, which helps with the food cost until you get to Castle Age. There are ways to leverage advantages, but Jeanne is not well known for being a dominant water civ. Yeah. But who knows? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for judgment here. Maybe Kiljardi's been cooking. Maybe he's got something stewing up. He's got to add the salt and the pepper. Maybe there's some exotic spices in here which we've never even heard of, and which will delight us in just a moment in this game. Lidicor, what are your thoughts?
I don't know what to expect, honestly. Just looking at the remaining civilizations, by the way, Ottomans and Japanese remaining for Woodwall if we get there, versus English and Delhi available. I guess Kiljardi's only alternative for Archipelago would have been the English. Maybe it could be that he's cooking something with Jean, or it could also be one of those things where he just didn't have anything reasonable left. Maybe he's saving English for game number 5 if he needs it.
Yeah, I guess English against Ottomans is that would be a fine choice, right? For Woodwall, if that's what you're predicting. And Jeanne d'Arc with the instant dock.
We go, indeed. Jeanne d'Arc on a water map. Now, that's not something that you see very, very commonly, and she's put to good use already, collecting some extra XP with the dock being built. And Winston, I think everybody's question right now is what is Jean going to do in Feudal Age? And everybody's second favorite question probably is going to be whether you can actually traverse between the two central islands.
So is this a fishing boat? It's got to be a fishing boat from Jean, right? There's no way you just YOLO her over, right?
Could
It'd be
you
funny.
perhaps Tower Rush with a transport? Okay, it's a fish. Okay, it's a
It's a fishing
boat.
boat. Yeah, that's what we had to predict. But you can never count out cool players making cool plays, right? They could have. He had a chance to be cool. Kiljardi picked fishing boats. Fine.
Yeah. Just a side note here, you do have that extra worker basically thanks to Jean here. So if nothing else, you already have a little Dark Age boost here that you can use to leverage the shorefish, for instance.
Yeah, this is gonna get spicy. I'm actually really curious to see how this goes. Oh man, I struggled. I played a lot of water games with Jean, just trying to see how far the Civ could go, and I really struggled making anything work, especially against like good water civs. Like against a mid-tier water civ, it's okay, but when you're playing against good, and Order of the Dragon is certainly good, right? I feel like it's just hard, right? When you upgrade Jean, you're losing a Vil, and if she dies over there, like. If your opponent predicts what you're going to do with the transport, she doesn't do much. You can sometimes just leave her in Vil form and just have her gather res, but then she stops gaining XP. It's just awkward. It's just so awkward.
Yeah, one thing I want to check though is how the central part of the map looks like. We have a major central island and a tiny one, and I'm honestly unsure if there is a connection between them. Yeah, just to the north of this area. That's a little weird on how, or when you look at the minimap, Winston, I think this might be walkable.
That's certainly a sandbar that you can walk. It depends on the tidal patterns. You know, if it's low tide, probably. If it's high tide, it might be a bit of a risky thing to traverse. Could you imagine if there were tides? Never mind. Moving on. Yeah, that's definitely both walkable.
If there was a tide, Kiljardi's TC would be flooded.
True, exactly. A high tide and it just comes crashing up on the waves. Oh no. John to gold. I just want to see a transport, you know? I want to believe. I want to feel young again. And that's what that would do for me.
I would love to see a transport too. I feel like, if nothing else, the harassment potential allows you to make this game very chaotic. And we're talking about Kiljardi once again. This guy loves his aggressive and chaotic games. He doesn't want to play a 40-minute long water micro game. And let's not forget, he's up 2-1. So there's also the chance for him that he's just going to roll the dice and gamble on that, because if it works out, he wins the set and he's in the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be a crazy way to advance. This was some crazy Jean strat no one's seen. Because it kind of is just budget French if you're just playing for the naval bonuses, right? Like, you're just missing a couple things, right? So how do you make it work? As we watch the villagers drop off their wood. Sean's on the move. She's on the move.
Yep.
Alert, alert.
It's the second dock only. Chill, Winston, chill.
You
No
never know.
transports
You
just
never
yet.
know. You never know. Duel of Cav. Interesting timing. Do you transport her over with a couple knights? I mean, I'm
Or
just asking.
you just keep building buildings with the villager Jean until she gets to tier 4, and then you start spawning bombards.
I don't think she gains XP once you have enough, right? Or did
I
we, is that
know.
different?
I'm just trying to mock you.
Oh. But I think you send her over with a couple of knights and you go super aggro. You build like a tower, then you change her into an archer or something, so she has a home.
It could work.
Maybe you build a house too, just to really.
Oh yeah, that's true. You could
in.
maybe consecrate the School of Cavalry, and that gives you a reasonable discount. The big issue with the Knights transport play is that it's awfully expensive. But maybe when you consecrate the landmark, it's a little bit easier to justify.
Yeah, and generally you don't. The dock consecration, it's also only food, right? Early on until you get the tech. So it's like, yeah, you won't even get that much benefit on the Warcock. I guess you still get the galley discount, but you know, it's not the biggest deal. And we have Order of the Dragon. We haven't even really talked about B, who's just playing completely standard here. Like, we've seen this like 10 times already. The transport, it's here, it's here. Everybody freak out.
Let's go, and there is the Archer Jean. So
Everybody panic.
after all, our predictions do work out. Now, the tricky thing is that he doesn't know.
No knight.
Yeah, he doesn't know where the opponent's island is at, so he's kind of going in blind. And I think the little green. Oh no! Oh no!
We're about to have a tragedy at sea.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh! I can see the tabloids already. Jean tragically
I
drowns.
think B was preparing for a landing, because his scout is to the very south of his island.
But we'll see. Does
He was
navigate
waiting for
around this situation? The aeroship has. So
He won't
much
find it.
vision. No.
He's missing out on it.
No, he skips
way!
by. All right, so we're on the move. We are. Jean is on the move. I repeat, Jean is on the move. Let's see how this goes. The aeroship already on here. No Hulk to defend, or Warcog, sorry, from Jean d'Arc. Oh, there it is. Actually, it does have the Warcog to defend. And Jean is just dropping off on the middle island. Wrong island. We're going to keep going. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Oh, he like popped off on that island. Was like, nope, wrong spot. He's going to land right on this wood line. Oh, this might be bad.
Oh, and B knew that this was coming his way. This is why he scouted with the scout to the south.
The Octane
of the
isn't even
island.
near the TC. The whole wood line is going to get
My
idled.
lord!
Jean d'Arc with the landing. Oh my gosh, instant stable drop from B.
Oh, this in
Jean
itself
d'Arc
is
slowly
worth it.
plucking away. No knight though. Means that
And here's the
with
problem.
one knight this is way better, right? But
Remember the Puppy Paw game, Winston? The one where simply having the School of Cavalry forces your opponent to invest into a production building and a Gilded Spearman. This is even better than that. B is making a Gilded Horseman on a water map. That is a massive investment.
yeah, but the Gilded Horseman is going to like kill Jean d'Arc range form in 2 shots. Like Jean is
So
going to
what?
get poked and then goodbye, Jean. Unless maybe Jean can retreat to the coast and you have ships there, but then you're inviting B to fight you. B though, like you said, he's kind of down in
Yep.
ships. Look at the number of
There
Warcogs.
we
Jean
go.
gets picked up. Evac, get her out of here, man.
This is so good. Even if you lose Jean, the economics help you a lot here. A single transport worth of investment compared to a stable, a Gilded Horseman. And B is struggling with ship production because he had to drop that stable. His first Hawk is out now, but Galley slowly chipping away at his fishing boats. His own galleys are also heavily damaged. No demos on either side though, as B now is kind of stuck with that one Gilded Horseman back at home.
Yeah, and that horseman is just going to be sitting on the coast, and now Jean, the number of Warcogs from Kiljardi is really, really insane. Night production as well. Looks like maybe that the can we check the landmark? Was it consecrated? I think he's going to be making some knights, and that will deal with this horseman quite nicely if he does land with it. But it doesn't really seem to matter as the water is just getting one, not consecrated. Interesting. Oh my gosh, what a game. Jean d'Arc pocket water strat. Kiljardi whipping it out in an attempt to take down B. Will he do it?
Oh, no galley to take
demo.
out this demo with.
Split.
Needs to
Kiljardi
split away. Decent demo hit, but Kiljardi slips away here, and he has to feel happy about that. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but that was still a lot of damage. 4 eco units have been killed by Kiljardi to open off this game. And against Order of the Dragon 2... against Order of the
Nice
Dragon
little
2. That is painful. We have knights potentially getting aboard a transport. We must invade England, said the French knights. They're going to go. This is the Norman invasion. Everybody get ready. The knight, he's ready soon, eventually. The problem is when you land Jean d'Arc, the horseman can kill Jean d'Arc way faster than the knight can kill the horseman. So you're going to need like all of your Warcogs there as well to deal a lot of damage. Oh man, this is a spicy
Multiple
game. 2
demos
knights.
coming in. Kiljardi does have 2 galleys to work with here.
No,
The
he's setting out
transport
Jean! Oh. Now, transports are really tanky.
Does B see this?
Uh-oh.
B
He
sees it.
does. He absolutely sees it. But the demos are coming in. the defensive warcogs moving forward, though.
It's tricky. If you commit the demos to the transport, you have nothing that protects your fleet. And Kiljardi is just going to push up with his whole fleet, escorting that one transport to the other side.
Oh, this is so cool. Another knight in queue, too. So Kiljardi is not afraid of this, even though it's been scouted. More horsemen in queue now for B. So he's prepping the defense.
Expensive for B. Let's not forget, these knights come with the consecrated production, whereas B is paying an insane price for every single horseman.
I think he consecrated it. He didn't initially. He probably has now. The transport is sneaking. Actually, it's not consecrated. He consecrated the town center because it's going to be used more consistently, right? That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I don't know why we freaked out about the consecration there. It would just be on the TC. Yeah. Got a little carried away. Now, one thing about this...
Demos are just hiding. The demos are actually creeping up on the transport.
But this is okay.
He's trying to jump it.
You should tank it here. The demos won't kill the transport. It'll be a bad use of the
Nice snipe on the demos. Galleys take out the first demo, second demo looking to connect. It's a little far away, but still connects to some of those warcogs. But the fleet for Kiljardi is just so much bigger.
Yeah. Do you know, does the heal, does Jean's AoE heal, does that work on boats? Like, if you brought all your boats to the coast, could you heal them all up? I have no idea.
I do not know.
It does, apparently. Interesting. That's spicy. That could work.
Demo once again hiding here. This is a little stealth area here in the middle of the sea, and this is something that B's been using for his defense. His fleet isn't looking very, very healthy right now, although I don't think we've seen the entire fleet from B. At the same time, Kiljardi might be looking to age up again. He's piling up resources, and he wasn't really able to get more landings done. He wasn't really able to get another fleet push going. So I'm actually wondering if he's going to age up here.
Yeah, and we're coming back. More knights. We didn't quite make it there last time. They're like, we didn't get there, boys, but get on in. And now we do see that first spearman out as well. So Archer Jean going to be essential to keep her alive to kill these gilded spearmen from Order of the Dragon.
Gilded spearmen, gilded horsemen. Such a big investment by B, but he needs it because if those knights ever land, it's straight up GG.
Oh, and we're going to have a bit of a ring around the rosy situation. Kiljardi going north, but B continuing with his aggression on the south. This could expose his fishing eco. Does B turn around? Oh,
transport might slip through, though.
That's going to make it.
He doesn't have his fleet to stop the transport with.
But Kiljardi has to micro this.
Yeah,
B is here with...
falling back. Demos are hiding in between those hogs. The transport is going to make it to the opposing island, though. Another demo coming in for Beto. He's got 5 in total. This one does get sniped quickly, but the landing is complete. Let's see what Kiljardi can do with the micro, though. He's going to have to fight on the water and on the land at the same time.
But if he gets in on the, onto the gold mine or onto the Aachen, that's a lot of those are going to die. Now the threat is spotted. More gilded spearmen in queue. Kiljardi's navy has been AFK for 20 seconds. They have no admiral.
He's paying attention.
Okay, he's back. He's back. Admiral had to go take a break.
I honestly feel like the knights are the less significant thing. If he loses them, so be it, but he can't lose the fleet here. So it's more like the knights are being the diversion here rather than the actual fleet.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you don't trip yourself up, right? That's kind of the idea here. He's going in for the attack on the fleet. Whoa! B's not looking at his navy.
Nice raid. And B is going to have to focus on the water micro here. Is he going to see the knights hitting him? Indeed, he is fleeing away from the knights. So much idle time forced on him. This is match point Kiljardi. He just needs one more win to make it to the quarterfinals. But here come the demos from B. He's got 4 of them in total. First one does get sniped. Kiljardi falls back as the villagers are fighting off the knights at the bottom left corner. Absolute carnage here, Winston.
I really don't think Kiljardi should be fighting with all the knights. I think he should retreat and just accept that this idle time is great for him. But I guess there's busier things happening on the field. Jeanne d'Arc raining down arrows while her fleet lives on in her memory. Oh my gosh. Jeanne d'Arc finally getting experience, by the way. Look at that XP bar. It's going up. The demos, though, going to trade.
And no more demos left here for B. Kiljardi is thinking about diving here. He's got 2 more demos left to work with. Worker count is still pretty close, though. Kiljardi lost a bunch of fishing boats. B lost a couple of dragon villagers, though.
And that's going to be a really expensive loss, but B, with the eco advantage, is going to be feeling quite cozy. But Kiljardi with 15 Warcogs going to be pushing in now. The demos are sneaking their way up. The galleys taking their shots at them. Going to be an important
So many
shot.
ships going down here for B, though.
Kiljardi's
He's losing
going.
most of his fleet.
Construction on the sea. Kiljardi owning the water here. The fishing boat's being pulled for repairs, but that's just going to make them fresh meat, or I guess fresh wood for the fleet of Kiljardi to take out. And a counter transport from B with nothing on it just to tank some shots. Maybe he misclicked that.
Maybe he wanted to land, but realizes that he needs something that absorbs the damage from his fleet. He's going to fall back, but the transport does fall. Oh my lord, what a chaotic game. And when the dust settles, the fleet size is dead even. But guess what? Kiljardi is thinking about another landing. He's making knights, and he's also banking up resources for Castle Age.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait for Jean to come back, though. She's dead for quite some time. Probably not worth buying her back, given how the last attack didn't do all too much. If B hadn't seen the transport with the knights on it, I think we'd be looking at a very different game. But B was able to get that little glimpse, and that kind of gave away Kiljardi's strat. So we'll have to see how this goes. More knights in queue, though, so Kiljardi's not giving up hope, like you said. And there's just a couple units already there for B to defend the land, so it's hard to see how Kiljardi's landing is going to do too much damage. But we'll see.
Nice little snipes here by Kiljardi. He slips through with a couple of galleys, and that's going to be at least one fishing boat going down, make it two. And now he's going to disengage. Nice little raid there. But again, the main show is going to be on the island of Kiljardi now. He is looking to age up, and it is going to be the Guildhall. No surprise on that front. He's going to beat his opponent to Castle Age here. And Winston, I feel like Kiljardi does have a fleet sizable enough to repel an aggression here from B. I'll be surprised if B was able to succeed with a deep dive here.
Yeah, and we'll see what Jeanne d'Arc's able to do here in Castle Age. Obviously, she can start grabbing sacred sites. You can start training Galleass. You can get access to some upgrades, but you need to make sure you don't lose. We see this a lot on these water maps. If you're first up, you have to be prepared to defend against an onslaught of enemy ships here. And looks like B looking for this angle. He's going to be rolling in there. 19 hulks. Get ready, everybody. Buckle up. It's going to be some demos.
Multiple demos are queued up here for Kiljardi, and B is diving deep. He could be flanked by those newly spawned demos, and Kiljardi also has a couple of demos himself to the north. Bit of a skirmish here. Springboard upgrade now coming in as well. Only 30 seconds that it takes for Kiljardi to get those, and here comes the demo flanks. Beautiful hits there by Kiljardi. And B is getting repelled here.
Oh, man.
Skirmish continues. Another transport
Jean gets spotted.
Demos
the demos go to trade blows.
Demos, though. Beautiful, beautiful hits by Kiljardi. Fleet of B is now battered, and Springboard Cruise is finished now for Kiljardi. I think he can clean this up. Nice flank by B, though. Gets a couple of good hits on the Hawks from the north.
A lot of ships going down here. Kiljardi kind of getting the worst of this, but not all the ships from B are here in position. So the flank, the concave with the healing from the dock, going to be enough to defend this. Oh my gosh, Litigor, what a game. What a game.
The army count for B is massive, by the way. It's twice the size of his opponents, and he's got 14 Hawks against 9. No more galleys here for Kiljardi to defend with, so the demos can reign supreme. Nice little charge coming in here with the demos. Sinks multiple Hawks, and B might just have come back to this game, because this game still feels like one that could fall into his hands. 88 army count versus 40. Kiljardi is in Castle Age, but we might just be taken to game number 5 over here, unless the demo connects. A life-saving, potentially life-saving demo from Kiljardi, but is it enough? I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, all of his fleet just got destroyed. He has not a single ship on the field. He has Jeanne d'Arc and 3 knights and a dream. He's got a Warcog in queue. A demo pops out, but for what?
It's madness. The chaos we witnessed in the last, 3 minutes or so is absolutely unreal, Winston.
That was a crazy game. I mean, I think it's kind of winding down here. It looks like B, after all of this, was able to come out ahead in the water micro. He was able to repel the attacks from Jean, no matter how expensive it was for him. Even getting to kill Jean the one time, and we have another landing from B this time with his initially defending units. And how many Vills died on this wood line? Why is it?
It must be a lot. 25
Maybe
worker
not.
kills includes the fishing boats as well, but this is a very, very underwhelming villager count for Kiljardi. Oh my, this must be it. And Winston, it looks like we will be taken to game number 5 here again. Last time these two have met in the group stage, it was a 5-game series, and it looks like this one is also going to be decided in game number 5 on Woodwall.
Yeah, we'll see. Kiljardi doesn't always resign right when the game is obviously over to us, because he still has some hope. It's, you know, a big tournament. Giving up this game would be huge. Maybe just trying to think, reconsider everything. Think, okay, what am I going to do next game? What's happening here? Can I just wait this out? Is there any way to come back, right? Like, you want to make sure you've lost before you resign. And Kiljardi, though, I mean, like, what do you do? This is an overwhelming lead from B at this stage.
Yeah, this is looking extremely grim now for Kiljardi. His most of the wood that he has access to is also on the shoreline, except for that one tree line to the north. But I mean, he has been landed. There are enemy troops on his island. He doesn't even have Jean working for him at this point. But it's not just the water that's the problem, as once again, he is going to be reset with his fleet in an instant. The enemy horsemen, they are just butchering the villagers left and right. This must be it for Kiljardi. No matter how high your hopes are, there's no way back into this game. We will have to decide this series in game number 5.
Yeah, more Vills go down. What a game. Man, I had so much hope. It was maybe a bit of copium, but a lot of hopium.
I mean,
Jean
you gotta
trusted.
credit him for the idea and the build.
Yeah. There was a dream here. I mean, you have to also credit him for the draft. I think, were there really no better water saves? I'd have to look at the draft again and say, like, are you sure? Like, did something must have gone wrong here. Oh boy, that's never fun.
It must have come down to some of those demo hits. It's tough to say, but it's one of those classic moments where you go up to Castle Age and your opponent just full commits to water. At this point, the town center is the best thing that Kiljardi has against the fleet of B. But it's 102 overall army count for B. That's triple than the entire population of Kiljardi, and it does step out. Just like the first series between these two players, the decider is also going to be 5 games.
Yeah, the 5th game between Kiljardi and B. Oh man, you know, at the start of the series, we talked about fireworks, about the potential, about everything being exciting and these players being aggressive and how that matchup is going to be fun. It's delivered so far, and I am so pumped to see game number 5.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Woodwall, and you know, we talked about this in the pre-game. You have a Jean d'Arc being brought in for this map. Is it for the high upside crazy strategy, or is this simply a leftover civilization because he felt more comfortable just leaving English or Delhi for the final game? And indeed, he is going to have English here. So to a certain extent, maybe that Jean d'Arc was partially fueled by the fact that he wanted to keep English for Woodwall.
Yeah, that could certainly be it. And honestly, there were points in that game where it looked close. Like in the opening, Kiljardi had more ships, like as well as having Jean in a transport ship. Like, I think there's some serious potential there against at least Order the Dragon. That timing was disgusting, and I think with slightly different execution or maybe some very mild adaptations, I think that we could be really looking at a potential matchup for Jean d'Arc there, but it just didn't quite work out in some cases. But Ottomans versus English, this is a matchup we've seen a lot. On Woodwall, we used to see this matchup a bit when Woodwall was kind of newer to the tournament scene, like a year-ish ago. I want to say a year and a half, maybe now. It's been around for a while. Should be an exciting game. Usually this comes down to a pretty intensive push in the Castle Age, if I recall, right? Between these two civs? I think it is, right?
Yeah, it can
I
be
think
played
so.
in a variety of ways, and when you look at Kiljardi, you never know what to expect from him. This could be a straight up like crazy aggressive longbow push. This could be a king harassment into 2TC fast castle style game. And I think one of the key things here from Kiljardi in the series is that he likes to change things up. We've seen some ultra aggressive games from him. We've seen some cheesy games from him. But we've also seen some fairly classic gameplay, which simply worked out, like the one at Socotra, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could get something spicy here. I mean, I hope Kiljardi is planning a cool build. Um, like you said, like we saw in Socotra. I think that was very clearly intentional, um, clearly practiced, and well executed. I hope we see something here from English. English has a very defined meta right now. So do we just see the standard play here, which is Abby 2TC, maybe Abby FC, right? You kind of have both of those as options. We've really seen players favoring Abby 2TC. So I'm wondering if we just see that here. But I would love it if Kiljardi's got something special, like Abby Horseman all in, like just something crazy, right? That would be exactly what I want at this stage of the series and the day.
Well, we just have 1.5 minutes left to go here, and this is only the third of the 4 series that we are having today. Kiljardi versus B. This is becoming like an all-time rivalry between the two players, really. Just based on the 2 series that they've played in this tournament, some absolute bangers. And, you look back at the history of these two, this event was the first time that Kiljardi was able to beat B in a tournament, in a major tournament. Could it happen twice? Could he take B out single-handedly from this tournament? I think that's the question that we'll have to answer once game number 5 finishes.
You mean in his set versus Beastie 2 weeks ago, or was it 3? I forget. It was. That looked close at times. There was a chance for BC to go down to Kiljardi, and I think with that series looking that close, then the last time these two matches looked so close, and then this series looking so close. I mean, come on, we're talking about a top player right now. Like we have to put that out there, even though historically, like you said, Kiljardi hasn't really been performing in the top 5. I think this is a player that could potentially go to the quarterfinals if he wins this game, right? That's a lot of momentum. And not quarterfinals, I mean semifinals after that, right? Yeah.
Semifinals is a tough ask because he would match up against an undefeated Marine Lord.
Yeah,
a Marine
you gotta
Lord
dream,
that hasn't dropped a single game in the tournament.
Yeah, but you gotta dream. If you want to believe, you have to believe hard. No dream is too small, Lidicor.
That's true. But first, he needs to take out B here. It is ready to roll. We are heading into game number 5 here. A decider between Kiljardi and B. This single game will tell us who's getting into the quarterfinals and who's going to be out of the tournament. B with the color green as the Ottomans, and Kiljardi with the English as the orange.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that Ottomans kind of like this map historically was it was a map where they can kind of just get their ideal setup in their base without too much trouble, which is just like you have enough building footprint for the Ottoman blacksmith with all the mill schools around it, and it just takes so long to get places that when you are ready to push, you just go. You have Jans, great bombards, you have everything you need, and then when the wood does become an issue, your late game is just kind of like propelled at that point with free siege and stuff like that. So we'll see if that becomes the case. I think English, well, their meta hasn't really changed a lot as this map has been. Like, while their late game hasn't really changed a lot, their early game has changed quite significantly since we used to see this map. And I think, well, the longbow rush, when it was like kind of the only strat that English had for a while, or like some eco FC stuff, you couldn't really use longbows super effectively on this map because it was just such a long rush distance. You had so much time to react. So I'm curious to see if Kiljardi has any cool strats here, or if we're just gonna get, in air quotes, what we've been seeing, like the same old, what we've been seeing quite a lot from English.
Yeah, this is a tricky matchup because the Ottomans are fairly established. You kind of know what to expect from them, although B is no stranger to weird strategies, so who knows if he's going to pop out some weird feudal age trade shenanigans. But I think the bigger decision point is for Kiljardi. Is he playing classic Council Hall longbows, or is this going to be a king-based 2TC build or so? He's got a lot of options, but I feel like the approach he chooses to take is going to be one of the more intriguing discussion points for us here.
We're gonna see. So yeah, Abbey makes a lot of sense. You can pressure the stone, you can pressure the gold, you can pressure if Ottomans go for a second TC, you can pressure that as well. And we have the trade network coming in for B as well. So I like that on this map a bit. I don't love it though. There's not a lot of safe food. You have the small deer pack behind your base. I don't think it's 7 deer, or is it? Behind, like, at the edge of the map here. Is that 7? Looks like 5.
Nope. Make it
6.
okay,
Nope.
7.
Oh, they were
They're just
hiding. Alright, so it is the 7. Right, so yeah, you have... Yeah, never mind. So maybe this is okay. If you can secure this, I think Ottomans are going to be fine with this play, but generally, players prefer the Berry Landmark when the food could be restricted or constrained, and you have to play with just your base. We'll see. The sheep count looks fine, I think, for both
and
players.
there's a stone build. I like this a lot from B because oftentimes we talk about the fact that if you face a 2TC very passive build from your opponent, you can go trade, and that often builds the 2T, or that often beats the 2TC builds. And this is going to be a 2-town center build from Kiljardi. Question is how you deal with the king, because the moment the king arrives, your traders will never leave your base. And as you kind of highlighted, because of the lack of food inside your base, simply making the Soul to Honey trade network to have your traders chill in there is a little underwhelming.
But it's still a way, like, it still functions essentially as a TC. While they're garrisoned, it's what, 24 gold per minute? So you immediately have a lot of GPM from the start, and that kind of snowballs, right? Each one, you can start training more and more traders, and then once you have 10, maybe by then, the hope is you have map control. You have a market on the north, you wall off the south, and you can trade pretty far, and then play army on one side or the other that you don't wall. So that's like kind of the pipe dream. Generally, a lot of players have 2 strats. I've seen some players just ignore this and just leave it as kind of, you know, a slightly discounted, what's the Somalian landmark called? The open pit mine, right? Or they'll actually invest in putting them in there. Rarely do you see players really try and hop out and get real trades going from these. But we'll see. Maybe B's got something up his sleeve. King on the way. He's on his way. Oh, Lord, the king is coming. What do you think he hits first? The
Wait a
TC's
minute.
gonna be up in time.
Yeah, but it's just... That's just one thing. 2 TCs for Kiljardi, but there's a second TC for B as well. So it's Soul to Honey trade network, but he's playing 2 TCs himself.
Yeah, and this position kind of protects that hunt. Like, not super cleanly. Maybe if he chops a couple trees and uses the berries for now, then he kind of chops into the hunt. The king, though, just going to be defending the TC from a scout, not doing much, and it looks like B heavily investing into getting this TC up before the king arrives, and he will do so, which I think is really smart. Don't lose the TC to the king. That's always bad.
So it's 2 TC versus 2 TC, so for the time being that Soul to Honey trade network is just an extra source of passive resources here for B, but we could be in for the longest game of this series over here, Winston, because it's not like this game needs to be exceptionally long to beat the length of the other games in this series.
That's true. Wasn't the longest game the water one we just watched? It might have been. Or no, it was game 1. I don't know. I didn't keep track of the timers.
Game 1 was very quick.
Right.
The Islands game might actually have been the longest.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. And we're going to see that first choice come in soon for B. What is he picking? Ooh, fancy UI. Look at that. Clean. And now we're going to get the...
yeah, he got the sheep
coming in. Anatolian Hills sheep and gather rate on the mine as well.
Yeah, he had to replace his mill to a very uncomfortable spot because the king was harassing the berries. So, especially considering that his deer is a little exposed as well, you see the king is looking for some villagers to harass here. Oh, he needs to kill the deer there. Because once B chops through, it's actually easy for him to push in the deer to the TC.
He's looking for some harass here. The king comes around, but quick reaction from B. The charge hits, but nothing else. Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh,
what?
nice little comeback.
Whoa! Kiljardi with the trick plays. And he's going back. He's like, you want a piece of me? Running back
This is
in.
a very tricky spot for B because there is the forest blocking his vision and there's also the stealth forest. So it's near impossible to spot that king before it actually hits your villager.
So double stable Spahi going to be the play here. So a pretty big investment. That's why he sent the sheep and he's on the food TC right now, right? It's going to give him lots of food income to spend on these. Does need to get the blacksmith up still. It's a lot of needs at this point. I'd say B does.
King gets pushed away for the time being. Sipahi are on the way. But look at Kiljardi. One difference between Kiljardi and B is that Kiljardi didn't invest into any production buildings. He's just got the Abbey, no troops coming out. Whereas B is now investing into Sipahi. End result is Kiljardi getting closer and closer to Castle Age.
We do see longbows, though, from Kiljardi, actually.
Ooh.
So a range is thrown down. In the face of Spahi, he opens longbows. Some might call that
Interesting
questionable.
idea. If he wants to play very defensive and he trusts his town center fire, it makes sense. Because the thing is that you can chip away on the Sipahi from the safety of your base, and that might make a lot of sense for him, especially if he's thinking that once we get to Castle Age, he wants to go crossbows. Did we lose Winston?
I was muted. Whoops. Oops. Yeah, no, did I? I don't know how much you guys missed. Yeah, so longbow spear coming in. I think that's a good play. The fear here for Kiljardi is that you overinvest in defenses here. That's always the scary thing. Because B has the units with initiative, with map control and mobility, it's always scary. B at any point could cancel production and just age up. And if Kiljardi stops building spearmen, he could potentially lose to a dive, which Ottomans are well known for, right? They used to play this really aggressive feudal timing and then just go for a huge dive if he ever tried to age. And the first spearman just get doinked.
Yeah.
Down he goes.
One concern here for Kiljardi is that his farms are very much out in the open, so if B wants to harass his farming eco, this is the spot.
Mm-hmm. Longbow spear with Abbey. Not something you see every day.
Well, that's for sure, especially when you consider that it's also 2 DCs. I love the little wars here. Longbows are doing a decent job pushing away these Sipahi for the time being. B is now doubling down on this. He's adding a meter. He's bringing in some archers and some more Sipahi as well. There's a second group of Sipahi ready at the top.
I wonder if he's going to send the imams to heal these up. That could make this push really, really strong. He's nearing that second VP. And with the correct vizier points here, this could make this push really scary. Triple range. Oh boy, we're having a fight. This is going to be a fight. Yeah, the imams get sent almost instantly. Makes a lot of sense with some hurt horsemen. You can just immediately give value here.
Yeah, Kiljardi is setting up a very robust food eco here, though. That's going to be 3 mills fully stacked with farms. He's piling up resources for Castle Age, but he's also out of position with his army to defend against this aggression from the top.
So in a second raid, kind of pulling the longbow spear far away. Not really going to have a lot of options. I like that he has the scout with that Liticor, because it gives him just that insight, and a big wall gets slapped down by Kiljardi. He does not want to get attacked on this side.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done with this. You have the mobility. I don't want to chase you. And Spearmen arrive just in time. Do manage to pick off the scout here. That is big. That is going to deprive B of vision. And look at B. The moment he loses the scout, he queues up a new one.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. He has the stables as well to be able to do that really easily. Interesting choice here. Kiljardi looks like he's just aiming for a white tower drop, like, defensively. maybe on the right side here to try and protect some of the gold and the cliff. I could see that being a good spot. But maybe more defensively in the farm eco also makes sense, as we see a lot of players do. Where do you think we're going to see a white tower? Or do you think we get a King's Palace? I think that's crazy.
No. There's no way this is going to be a King's
Yeah.
Palace game. Especially not from Kiljardi. It's either going to be very condensed right next to one of the TCs, or it's going to be to the north of those farms. That would be the better spot, because he needs protection there. But I wonder if he's a little concerned about that landmark being stopped.
Yeah, this army is sneaking around, and it looks like that is a scary force. This is enough to maybe consider a dive. It's not enough to make it a comfortable dive, though, against English of all civs. And they will get spotted, too.
And there's a
Kiljardi's
wall
on
down here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that rotation is going to be... it's going to be difficult. The white tower is at a very bad spot, though. This is actually the spot that B could potentially dive and deny.
Yeah, but it's really good if it goes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to see it here, though, surely.
Yeah, he's going to commit to this. King is out there to help out. Network of castles helping 21 villagers rallied to build the castle, the white tower. This landmark needs to go up because B is here to punish. And Kiljardi barely has any forces nearby. He's going to have to sacrifice a couple of villagers to make this happen. Looks like most of the damage was tanked up by his army, though. Only a single villager has been killed in this fight.
Yeah, that was a great fight for Kiljardi. He's able to get everything up, and with much less military, he's able to hold, get castle. But right behind this, the MIA, 15 vills, B, wasting no time trying to get up to castle age.
Yeah. It was tough for Kiljardi, though. At the end of the day, he did have to commit 21 villagers to this. But let's look at B, though, for a moment, because B has no farming eco setup. Whereas
Can we check
when you look
the
at
little
Kiljardi...
landmark, the Sultani? How's that doing, the trade network? Does it have a lot of traders in it? How does B have such a big eco lead? Is it just using it more? Oh, only 3. So he's just training vills more consistently.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think so as well.
Because they're both
maybe
been on
some
2TC
PCI all
the
time
same
from
amount of time,
Kiljardi.
right? Like, B should only be up like roughly 3 vills.
Yeah,
But it's much more than that.
Comes down to the second TC timing, but anyway,
You have some
this is
knights moving
dangerous for
across the
Kiljardi.
field now, so that's going to be the follow-up. Ooh, some picks. Not paying attention.
Oh? Hello? Hello?
You hear me now?
Yeah, I always heard you. It was you who didn't hear me.
I am sorry if it sounded like I was talking over you. We just reconnected to Discord.
Oh,
and we're
yeah,
back,
you've
but
been
let's
talking
go.
about... You've been talking over me for the last, 3 minutes and started to get suspicious.
I couldn't hear you at all. I am so sorry, my dude. That happens, though.
It's
you know?
fine. Yeah, I was about to
Discord's
just
weird.
say that
Weird.
this is a slow army here, and this could easily be just wrapped up by B.
Yeah, and here we have it. The fight. This is a weird dive from Kiljardi. Like you're saying, could just get taken out, right?
Yeah, I don't like this. He's got a couple of men-at-arms, but I'm not impressed about this army. And you see, now he cannot retreat. He's got 0 mobility. Sipahi will jump the longbows. I guess the silver lining is that maybe Kiljardi just wanted to divert attention away from his base, and he was willing to sacrifice this. One thing is sure, this is a very easy cleanup and a very comfortable setup as well for B.
Yeah, and this is where Ottomans can get so scary, right? Like this is the timing, right? Around 15 to 20 minutes is when all the mill schools just like kind of kick into overdrive, and suddenly you have a huge, huge force to be reckoned with. Although, can we just pan over his base? Did he build any military schools this game? I'm not seeing many units in queue, which doesn't make any sense.
Playing Mongols without Uvu, playing Ottomans without military schools.
Not a single military school.
Oh man, that hurts.
Huh?
And let's not
It's a-
forget, he doesn't have a good farming eco setup. Compare that to Kiljardi, who's got like 30 or so farms.
Yeah, I kind of just assumed. I feel bad now. I just assumed. I was like, oh yeah, this is when Ottomans get really scary. You know, all these buildings kind of kick in, and you get a big, big army. And he's got a bigger army for now. He has the military school count +1, but he has yet to build a single military school. It's prepping for the future. It's muscle memory. It's habit. That is so funny.
He doesn't have the stone for it, by the way. At the same time, Kiljardi is exploiting this. Kiljardi has got no standing army, but he's not really being punished by B right now. New walls are coming up. He's actually moving towards the middle wood line, and that's probably the primary raiding point right now for B.
Another vill goes down on the walls, but yeah, I don't know. Like, this game feels weird now. I would have thought that this is kind of the Ottoman timing for the next, like, 5 minutes, 4 minutes now. But pretty soon we're going to enter English land, where the matchup, I feel, at times can get pretty one-sided with English in the hyper late. Ottomans, I feel like, times can struggle. English aren't really cavalry reliant, and Ottoman's main benefit late game is they're really durable against cav. And yeah, I'm struggling. I mean, there's definitely ways to play it. Like, I think Ottomans still have a good enough late game here, but without the middle school setup, what does he do, Lita?
Yeah, it's a good question. Population is looking slightly better for him. He's actually stonewalling off the map. Maybe he's thinking about just going crazy on the trade now. He's gotten the Socotra trade network. Once again, Kiljardi's posturing out of his base, and he's getting surprised by the concealed units here. Kiljardi did not have a scout. He's running into a trap here, and this is a beautiful trap sprung by B. Mangonel doing a decent job here as well. Decent amount of crossbows on the back line will decimate most of the man-at-arms, and Kiljardi is running for his life in a game that could be his final in Masters of Realms.
Villager count is neck and neck. Military count only 10 pop lead for B here. Oh man, this is getting spicy, Eliticore. This is getting spicy. This is an elimination game. Think about that. This is crazy.
Army count is neck and neck, but you just don't see that right here. Kiljardi's got 25 men-at-arms though, and B needs to be careful. Look at that gold mining operation out there. Kiljardi just taking that gold away from B. Speaking of which, that's the only gold that Kiljardi can access right now. This gold is about to be depleted, and once that happens, this is the only gold that's like currently under the control of Kiljardi. This one to the south is quite contested.
Yeah, and the farming eco is set up, so if Imp does find a way to come in, it should be pretty clean. And B also grabbing the relics just behind this. His macro has been simply more solid. Do we see mill schools yet? I kind of want to keep checking. I want to keep looking. Like, we kind of need to see this eventually. This can't be another Uvu game, right? Don't do this to me, B. Surely you believe that they're useful at this stage of the game. This is crazy. Okay.
That's unreal. Now he's mining stone, though. So maybe he's thinking about it, but he's just fully stonewalling up. He doesn't care. It's actually very weird, because I think he could have committed and done a lot of damage to Kiljardi, but maybe he was afraid of the network of castles aura, and maybe he wasn't sure how big Kiljardi's army is. And to be fair, Kiljardi now has a massive army, but B is approaching this cautiously. He's fully stonewalling off his side of the map.
Can we get a moment of silence for this vizier? This guy, he spent his whole life training to be an academic. He was like, I'm going to be the best advisor to our leader ever. I'm going to be the best advisor. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give us the best advice, and I'm going to lead our nation to greatness. And what does this vizier get told to do? Go off over there and train all these academies. Go teach at the academy. He goes there, and it's just a big old field, an empty field. 2 VPs spent on no mill schools. I guess it applies to the MIA, so it's not like completely useless, but like it's just funny to me that we're still stubbornly not building these. Oh, it happened.
I feel like you've summarized academia perfectly well.
All right, that's very adequate for you. Oh no, I'm just kidding. As we have the middle school transition finally did happen. B was like, all right, this is how my civ works. Obviously, I'm not criticizing B. I just think it's funny because I think he clearly showed that there was intentionality. He didn't have the resources to invest in those, and it does take quite a while for the schools to pay off. And by waiting for that VP to come in, he did actually. That's really going to shorten the time where that payoff is going to come in. So there is validity to this a bit, but as a Berkshire Palace goes up on the central wood line, and that's going to control everything.
Now, hear me out. is there a world where this was the game plan for Kiljardi all along? Like, say, listen, I get English for this map. I don't really want to fight in Feudal. I don't really want to fight in Castle. But guess what? I dropped the Berkshire in the middle. Good luck getting any wood.
I actually wonder if that's kind of a baited placement. If... I guess for a while, it's never going to be seen. But if it ever reveals itself, can't you treb that without any repercussions? Like, a Springald can't reach a treb that's max range from...
You can't repair it for quite some time, though. I think that's the problem with the trebs. You need a lot of trebs to deal with that. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's more about the fact that if it doesn't get trebbed, it's going to annihilate every single lumberjack.
True. Well, once it sees, it has to find... The wood lines have to touch. Neither player has really committed too much to chopping wood in the middle. So the wall of wood on Woodwall has retained its wall shape and structure. It'll be a while before it gets chopped through and we get, you know, some contest in here. In fact, B is maybe a little scared, preemptively walling, not quite realizing that the wood wall is going to last a while.
I love that. Both players are at 200 pop right now, as Istanbul Observatory is going to be on the way for B. Side note here is that he's gotten 4 relics, compared to just 1 from Kiljardi. But I think the bigger thing is that Kiljardi doesn't have stone walls. He's a lot more exposed to a night raid. And we actually have 10 Lancers out there for B that could exploit an opening to the north, for instance.
That could be cool, but currently Kiljardi looking at this wall. He's looking at a stone wall that he cannot attack. And finally, he gets away to hit the wall. And we're going to see... Oh, this could be interesting. The longbows could go up on the wall here, maybe. And that'd be very annoying for B to deal with. Although he has mangonels. It does take a while, though, to kill mangonels on a wall. You said it right, though, Liticor. We're certainly in for a longer game here.
Yeah, I think this game, it is already the longest of all. But this has potential to be as long as the other 4 games combined. Because if this push thaws out, we could easily have both players just digging in and playing a very long game here. But that's no joke. That's 42 fully upgraded men-at-arms here, supported by bombards, springolds, and a bunch of longbows as well. And those longbows are zooming in Imperial when you have the volley on them as well.
Kiljardi just waiting for his techs, playing super patient here. We'll see if he goes for a crazy dive. The army from B also just awaiting techs, waiting patiently in the vision. Wait, where's that? What is happening? Oh, he's gonna wall him in. No reinforcements, no retreat. Great catch from our observer. The picture-in-picture coming in clutch.
Oh my, that could be nasty. Now, Kiljardi's got a big resource bank to rebuild this army, but getting trapped like this could be catastrophic. But guess what? He's moving close to the Berkshire. This is how he's getting line of sight, Winston.
He gives the Berkshire vision, and so now it's coming into play.
He's gonna camp next to that wood line with the Berkshire supporting him. That's the plan here, Winston.
He's gonna get eviscerated here, though, right?
He should be.
Surely. Maybe
the bombard.
The mangonels are coming
from behind. Mangonels setting up. Men-at-arms are very, very tanky here, and the bombard is now focusing down the mangonels from B. But it looks like this is going to be a cleanup, just an overwhelming force of crossbows, mangonels, and whatnot. And of course, you do have this keep contributing very heavily as well.
This does reveal the location of the Berkshire, so trebs are maybe an option now for B, but he has one on the field. I'm not sure exactly where it is. It looks like it might be pinging away on the left side or something. As the wood in the middle is now... Oh, there it is. As the wood in the middle is a dangerous zone for a villager in B's economy, right, Liticor?
Yeah, it becomes a danger zone. Kiljardi did get cleaned up entirely. And as much as we've talked about the Berkshire, let's not forget that he himself is having a bit of a trouble accessing wood once these keeps, once the towers start opening up. And now the Treb can open up on the Berkshire as well. Look at all the upgrades coming in for Kiljardi, though.
He has to guess where it is. Correct. He doesn't know, but it was correct.
Doesn't he get it revealed when it starts firing at the units, though?
So is that an issue with
It could be.
Interesting.
Like, you for sure should see it when it's starting to shoot at you, right?
I don't know. Yeah, you do, I guess. So, okay, so he doesn't have to guess. It's interesting that the spectator is on there. Anyway, moving on.
Bombards can actually shoot through forests, which is a little weird because some of the units, like Springolds, cannot. It's a direct line of sight game for them.
Big battle brewing on the walls here as English villas scramble to build.
I was talking about that like 5 minutes ago. B has stonewalls, Kiljardi doesn't. So Kiljardi does get punished for this. And sure enough, you have a keep in there, but B is just going to run past it. And remember, this is most of the available gold that Kiljardi has around this area.
But this is a big battle brewing. The man-at-arms in melee range now of the crossbows. The crossbow's going to be good, but there's a keep behind them. Oh my gosh, this is a dicey place to be. No boiling oil here, but a cannon placement on the way could spell trouble, but the bombard's moving in. Gonna get some big old shots off.
Yeah, men-at-arms are very, very tanky though, and reinforcements do arrive. It's only men-at-arms basically for Kiljardi. 60 men-at-arms out there for him. A couple of hand-cannoneers mixed in as well as the skirmish through the middle still continues. Mangonel's now creeping up though for B. He's got some great bombards as well. He does have 30 crossbows, which should in theory stop this, but boy are these men-at-arms chonky, and they are just swarming all these crossbows.
To the gate, retreat! Oh my
traffic
gosh.
jam.
Yes, to retreat back. Oh man, onto the walls they go.
Listen, hear me out. Bring a siege tower.
Unironically, build a siege tower, and it will get 2 shot by the bombards.
But it would look cool though.
It would look cool doing it, yeah. Oh my gosh, and these men-at-arms have to retreat. Oh man.
That Stonewall is putting Kiljardi in a world of pain. At the same time, bit of a trap skirmish in the middle though. Kiljardi went for like 3 traps so far. He just replaced his lost units with traps, and again, lovely Stonewall to the north, as Wodka is highlighting to us. I have my doubts about that.
No. It works fine. It works fine. They can't just walk around. To the gate, retreat again! To the gate!
That's the problem with the great bombards and trebuchets. They're very, very chunky. So it's difficult to just kind of squeeze them through the gate once again. There's a bombard now trying to target the stone gate. B's creeping up with the walls. He's trying to expand the walls so he can shoot the men-at-arms from the top of the wall. But once the walls are breached, the men-at-arms can swarm the walls. Here we go.
I'm not convinced this isn't a Monty Python sketch, but oh my gosh, this is a big battle brewing. The mangonels need to shoot at the hand cannons. They do get a juicy shot, but it's not quite enough to kill most of them. And now is he going to have to retreat here, or is he going to be able to hold his ground very comfortably?
He didn't have a very strong front line, but he started mixing in his own men-at-arms, and he had crossbows firing from the back line. Kiljardi was just sending men-at-arms into their demise against crossbows. At the same time, now Kiljardi is struggling to access wood, but he's taking out this keep, potentially allowing him to beach the direct base of B.
Wow. The wood is going to start getting denied here in the center of Woodwall. The stone wall is getting continued in both the left and the right side, so the unfinished wall on the left is getting completed too. But the bombards are here, ready to bring down hell. Trade? Ooh. It is time. He's almost out of gold.
Yeah, Kiljardi will run out of gold very soon as well, especially if he loses control over this this gold mine. He's at least finishing up his walls, but Kiljardi is looking to now breach the middle, and it's not like B has a lot of troops nearby. And I feel like Kiljardi has been just spamming men-at-arms for most of this game. It doesn't work in a direct fight on the flank, but he's walling up, and I think he just wants to send a bunch of men-at-arms into the enemy base here.
The walls are down though for Kiljardi, so Spahi raid could be coming. The whole army could be coming into here.
He's chopping through.
Yeah, he's force chopping his way through this. Berkshire running down hell.
Now, keep is being built here, and B is not focusing it just yet, but Kiljardi could lose this in an instant. it's going to be completed, but Great Bombards will just take it out in 5 seconds.
Yeah, just a couple hits.
51 minute arms for Kiljardi though. And he's
going.
converging on this area.
Trying to repair. Oh man, this is starting to get technical. There's fights on all 3 lanes here, and it's important that you don't just lose your army if you're B here. Your army is super expensive and slow to replace. You can afford to lose the front line and maybe some crossbows, but the siege has to stay alive for B.
Especially because he doesn't have access to wood anymore. He has 2,600 in the bank, but he's got basically no lumberjacks working right now. And this is the chop through, folks. Could Kiljardi go for a landmark snipe here? All of the landmarks are very close to each other, and it's got bombards, it's got traps, and a bunch of men-at-arms. This could turn into a base race.
It very seriously could. I think I favor the Great Bombards in a base race here, though.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of army here for B. Where are his units?
He's
invested a
eating,
lot into trade.
now it's an all-in. This has to be an all-in from Kiljardi. He's just completely forfeiting his base here. Oh my lord, could one of the final quarterfinal spots be decided by a base race? The chop throw is complete. Kiljardi
He's coming home. Where did Kiljardi go? He went to defend, and now B's going to defend. No base race. We're going to meet in the middle, I guess, is the idea.
I mean, I think Kiljardi's still racing for the base, though. It's just a matter of B pulling back here. The keep is now being targeted out, and the bombards, they were left behind. Kiljardi can easily take them out. There is no escort to the bombards.
Maybe they're just going to be too slow. Maybe he's hoping they can, like, flank the White Tower. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But
keep in
the
mind,
main mass.
Kiljardi's Berkshire is in the middle, so it's going to be close to his army. Whereas for B, he's very far away from his landmarks with his army.
Yeah. Here comes his army. He has made it home. Or not home, but yeah, home to the wood line.
Oh, the men-at-arms are stuck! They were body blocked by the siege weapons, so the charge comes in on the traps. The keep does go down, but the bombard and 2 traps are also gone. B is thinking about pulling back his forces. He might need it because that is none other than 83 men-at-arms swarming his base. And it looks like they're going for the landmarks.
Maybe.
They're going for the landmarks, Winston.
I think he's losing control of his army, actually. I think that might be a control group issue. I don't think he's controlling that.
Maybe he's sending them into the farming eco, but he is back, and he's got a bunch of crossbows and hand cannoneers to deal with this. Hand cannoneers coming in from the other side as well. How much can Kiljardi rack this eco? That's the real question, because his own eco was suffering behind this.
Yeah, there is an issue for gold for Kiljardi, right? He does not have a trade setup, which B does, which is what's giving Kiljardi a larger army. The benefit to Kiljardi's army comp is that he can keep making men-at-arms almost infinitely with English, right? But the hand cannon mass is down to 3 hand cannons.
And the men-at-arms are useless.
Not gonna be much more. Yeah.
He's sending them into their death against 40 crossbows or so, buffed by mentors. I think that's the problem for him. He's making a unit that dies instantly to the... What? That was a crazy overkill. Poor villager. Did you see that?
Yeah. Owned. Owned is what we call that. Man, if you look at B's resources, it's like he's the one playing English. Usually what you expect to see here. Men-at-arm raids did some damage, but not the end of the game for B. And it almost helps him a bit. It let him mass army now, because he was on 120 vills and traders, and now he has space for more pop. And we see that pop now coming forward. He's looking for a fight down the center under the Berkshire. Some raids on the right, some raids on the left.
I really feel like Kiljardi lost so much momentum by conceding the flank of his base, and then just basically right-clicking a bunch of men-at-arms into crossbows. The destroyed value is heavily favoring B here.
Yeah, it's actually insane, right? That's an insane difference. So we have the Mangonels even getting in on the action. Grenald's pushing forward, though. That's going to be enough to push back these bomb guards, or is it? A big shot lands.
Oh, that's a lot of that villagers for Kiljardi. He's down to 64. And he is very close to a collapse, I feel. His population is dropping, but he does have momentum here still in the middle. Is he going to pull a Hail Mary out of this one? He beat B 3-2 in the first round. And now, when they're fighting for survival here in this event, can he pull one more trick out of his head? He's down to just 64 villagers, 157 population. B is remassing a lot quicker, but B is out of gold.
He has trade though. He has gold income. Whereas
Kiljardi's going for rams. He's got 8 rams. He's gonna try the landmark snipe here.
I don't know if that works here. You have
does he have
bombards
a choice?
for the rams. Yeah, I guess, yeah, 65 vills is very low. He's going for the max military count. Even adding
bombards though.
longbows now.
He cannot even take out one of those bombards. Rams are knocking on the buildings, but the army is just disappearing. Great bombards annihilating the springlords. They decimate the men-at-arms. Still, men-at-arms are trickling into B's eco, but he does not care. He's in that 190 population against 150. And B, he could take vengeance for that earlier defeat here and eliminate Kiljardi head into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the 4 bombards are now able to roll up, maybe, and start working away on the Berkshire, taking down that pesky landmark that's been a thorn in the wood line here. A 5th bombard joins the field, so B back up to his previous counter. The man-at-arms again running straight into their hard counters.
It is just brutal slugfest. Kiljardi is spamming men-at-arms into crossbows. He's spamming them into great bombards. And when you look at the bottom left, 60,000 destroyed value against 40,000. The efficiency was up in the skies here for B. And he didn't do anything but defend. He waited until Kiljardi came in and absolutely annihilated the man-at-arms. He is so close to winning this game, and with that, the entire set.
I feel like if he holds one more wave in the center, he's going to start pushing, and he's going to be building a keep now to solidify. The raids are kind of getting fully cleared up now. Only a few pings left in B's economy to deal with. He's back to 200 pop. Kiljardi at 108. Oof, as they say. That's what the kids say now. Oof, right?
This is now a desperation game for Kiljardi. He's down to 110 population. He has limited map control. He still has the Berkshire in the middle. So maybe he's hoping that he can starve B out of wood, but his own eco is an absolute crapshoot at this point. In fact, he himself is barely able to access wood. Well, he does have access to wood, but he doesn't have villagers alive to actually chop it with.
Yeah. No one's chopping wood in the middle. It's just a no man's land. A DMZ. Between the Ottomans and in the English. And here he comes. He's got his army. He's got a wall to retreat to if he needs it.
Yeah, and the Great Bombards, that many Great Bombards, 6 of them to be precise, they will take out the Berkshire without problems. Kiljardi still has 40 men-at-arms to work with, but I just don't know if he can stop this.
Here they come, boys. Ready to fight. The Springolds are in position, but 3 Springolds against 6 Great Bombards. I don't think I need to tell you guys who wins that.
Kiljardi is still hoping. He's trying to micro against that many Great Bombards and Springolds. Bad news for him is that he still has 40 men-at-arms, make it 50. He's trying to mix in longbows, but even longbows won't fare well against that many bombards and crossbows as well.
Just trying to get them in position. He's kind of scouting out against these Springolds, trying to find them, and here comes the dive. Maybe.
Just creeping up.
Man, just shit.
He's taking out the towers first. He's looking to bait out the enemy army. A bit of a flank coming in the north as well. And then a volley is unleashed on the Berkshire. Berkshire almost gone. Kiljardi is looking to engage this, but that's so difficult to do against that many crossbows and the bombards as well. He finally commits to this though. Bombards unleash hell from the backline. Crossbows picking off all the men-at-arms. Not much of a front line here for B though, but once the bombards start focusing on the men-at-arms, the population is just plummeting for Kiljardi. He is trying to make it to the backline to hit the bombards. And he might be doing this. He might be holding on. I just don't know how much he can remass after this.
No way, dude. There's no way he wins this fight. The longbows are raining down on this, but not even with every upgrade, right? These aren't even 3 upgraded longbows at 41 minutes into the game. That's not a good sign, and the bombards are through.
This must be it here for Kiljardi. And after playing a thrilling series against B in the opening round of Masters of Realms, he took out B 3-2. Now it's a rematch here in the decider, and it is B who prevails. What a lovely series once again, and I feel like we weren't very far away with our assessment, saying that this game is going to be longer than the rest of the series combined.
I think that's even. I think that's true. I think that's just
It's gonna be close. 4
yeah,
games though.
Quite. Yeah. We had the
Well, I mean, Kiljardi hasn't tapped out yet.
Kawasan was a long game too. Remember? Not long, but it lasted, right?
Yeah, that was a longer game. The Islands game was like 15 as well. But now it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you feel. The Berkshire is gone, and these great bombards rolling down towards the landmarks. You can probably start a countdown here, saying 5, 4.
Goodbye, Abby.
3.
Let to be gone.
2. 1.5.
Well, there's the white tower in the back.
1.
You're gonna be counting for a while if you just retreats here. He doesn't wanna risk
0.99. All right, it looks
army.
like B is calling back.
Just kill him already. He's already dead. A night switch here is cool. From B.
I feel like he could just right-click his villagers in the enemy base and still win this game. Kiljardi's still remassing.
Right-click the white tower and just win this game.
Kiljardi's remassing. He's up to 60 men in arms.
And bombards roll around. They find a target and they're like, yummy. And all those men in arms are dead. Bro, imagine the story those 4 would have to tell. Like, we were just walking around minding our own business. We don't even see them. Here's the flank, though. Men at arms coming in from the north, coming in from the south.
This must be the last Hail Mary here for Kiljardi, but once again, the bombars are tucked away so nicely, and they do have area damage. They just absolutely annihilate the longbows on the back line. Crossbows will pick apart the men at arms, and this is just a desperate fight for survival for Kiljardi. But it's not gonna happen. It's B securing this game, and he's going to be the one moving on to the quarterfinals to face Marine Lord. A big rivalry coming up in the quarterfinals. Could have been Kiljardi versus Marine Lord, but it is going to be B. He takes vengeance for the previous defeat and takes out Kiljardi 3-2.
Insane game, Liddicore. That was crazy. Oh man, the smoke there at the end. Shock and awe, the tactic from B. Impressive stuff from him. No military school early game, and we kind of questioned it, but I actually think strategically this made a lot of sense. Military schools are an investment in the future, and B waited until that investment was at its peak, right? It would be like much quicker to pay off, right? When you have all those benefits stacked up. So really, really cool stuff from him. I love watching B play because he thinks about these things a little bit differently, and it might not be conventional, but it's certainly intentional and really cool.
Ooh. Well casted, boys. Another series that goes to 5 games between the two, but this time around, B coming out the victor. That means we are saying farewell to the wonderful Kiljardi. It's B that's going to have to just carry that aggro torch into the playoffs. And, let's quickly dissect the second part of this set, because this was kind of wild, right? We said it was going to be attack, 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 attack. For the most, it was. It kind of kept it up. I did love good old Kiljardi coming out in that game number 4, especially. But the weirdest part to me, Litter, is this final game. Even though it seemed like it was a boom game, they still were both trying to actively kill each other for that first 20 minutes.
That was one of the weirdest games I've seen in this entire tournament. Like, they're both building armies, but very, very careful with it. And then you're just waiting for someone to pull the trigger, really. What really surprised me about this game was how tunnel vision the game plan of Kiljardi seemed to be. It was so heavily man-at-arms focused, and sure enough, it's a great unit. It's very, very tanky, especially if you have some backline support to it. But by the time he committed to a fight, or by the time he committed to a dive, B had an absolute hard counter to it. And I'm not sure if Kiljardi had any better options, but I mean, it was pretty obvious that Man-at-Arms won't work.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was wondering that game, Winston. It's like, maybe Horseman, but then there's the risk that you go up against Janissaries. And he did try the Springolds, but I mean, I think it's just fair to say at this stage, Great Bombards are a ludicrous beast on these type of maps.
Yeah, if you can get up to it, right? Keep in mind, most of that was fueled by the MIA, right? Like most of that was free, right? I think as soon as you get imp, you just set it to Great Bombards, and then they just slowly trickle in, and it's kind of like a little win condition in and of itself, right? Like if that is able to just keep going, and your opponent doesn't have a plan to deal with it, and like we said, plans are limited. The 8Ks were controlled by B. Kiljardi didn't have a ton of gold, and what he did have when he made a big hand cannon army, that army didn't quite work out. There were enough mangonels from B as well, so he just always seemed to have an answer to what Kiljardi was doing. I don't think Kiljardi going Cav would have really helped. Again, like you said, Jans are just so available for Ottomans and such a natural unit to build that they love it if you go Cav. So very tricky to deal with indeed.
Yeah, tough series. In the end, Kiljardi just short of the mark. I think this would have been one of his best, if not his best performance in S tier tournaments.